Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Ino loves Naruto after war Sasuke bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by MysticTraveller and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. The Fourth Shinobi War. The war that finally brought peace to the ninja world. A lot of lives were lost in the war. Many friends, brothers, sisters were lost in the conflict, but they died knowing they are trying to make a difference. And they did make a difference. The war was won. Tobi was killed by the hands of Uzumaki Naruto and Killer Bee, the last two Jinchuriki still alive. They teamed up with their tenants, and used all of their power to end his terror. On the other side of the battlefield fought the five Kages against the newly revived Uchiha Madara. The battle was long and taxing. Madara earned his right to be called one of the strongest ninja to have ever existed in the world alongside first Hokage. But even he couldn't stand up to the five Kages. The battle lasted for several hours, but in the end he was defeated and sealed forever in Gaara's sand fortress. Kabuto was defeated by the Uchiha brothers, Itachi and Sasuke. His goal finished, Itachi returned to the land of the dead. He gave Sasuke one final advice, to stop his quest of revenge and return to his friends and brother. Sasuke told him that won't happen and that he will have revenge upon Konoha. He will stifle their laughter and kill them all. But first he will crush their hope, their hero, Uzumaki Naruto. On his way to face Naruto, he was confronted by his old comrades, the Rookie 11. They tried to stop him and convince him to return to Konoha. He refused and just laughed maniacally, saying, "Do you really think I could ever return to Konoha and live happily ever after with you all? The only reason I will return to that weak village is to destroy every single villager, every single ninja, every building till there is nothing left but dust." They all saw him for what he really was, all except Sakura. She still hoped that there is some light in him. She tried to persuade him, to make him see reason. She even told him that she loved him and that she would do anything for him. Sasuke's only answer was to draw his sword and activate his Sharingan. Shikamaru took charge and started ordering his friends to take battle formations. He knew they stood little chance against him without Naruto, but even though chances of victory were next to none, he would give it his all, to protect his friends, his family, to protect Naruto, the village pariah who saved them all. The battle that ensued was epic. But even though Sasuke was outnumbered, he was still holding his ground and was fighting back. Shikamaru, in a desperate move, ordered his friends to attack him at the same time while Sakura attacks him from behind and uses her strength to penetrate through his Susanoo. The plan worked flawlessly till the last moment. Sasuke was focused trying to give Susanoo enough power to withstand their attack. He was too focused to notice Sakura moving behind him and gathering all of her chakra in her fist to end his life, or at least cripple him. It all went downhill from there. Sakura stopped inches from hitting him. She just couldn't do it. Images of young Sasuke flashed before her eyes, all the moments they spent together with Team 7. All the laughter, sadness, all the battles they've won together. "I'm sorry, Naruto. I just can't do it," thought Sakura. At that moment Sasuke noticed her and turned around and used Susanoo to try and stab her. He looked in her eyes and saw her smiling. It was a peaceful smile. She knew what was coming. Shikamaru and others tried to warn her, and all started running towards her hoping they would make it. Fate was not on their side that day. The sword from Susanoo struck Sakura through her stomach. There was no sound heard from her. She had a peaceful expression on her face, and you could see a lone tear escaping from her eye. Sasuke was unaffected by this, and with a flick from his wrist threw her towards her friends. She was caught by Ino, who was already crying while cradling her pale and cold body. She hopelessly tried to heal here. She used all of her chakra trying to save her. She looked into Sakura's eyes and saw that this is one battle that she won't emerge victorious. Ino felt so hopeless at that moment, exactly when her sensei, Asuma, died. She couldn't do anything. The tears just wouldn't stop coming. The remaining rookies all formed a defensive circle around Sakura and Ino, all staring at Sasuke with all the hate they could muster. Sasuke just stood there impassively, acting like this is an everyday thing for him, killing his friends. "Do you still wish to fight me? My goal is Naruto and not you weaklings. You cannot hope to win against my hatred. You don't know pain like I do. You live your perfect lives, with your families and lovers, laughing all because of my family's sacrifice." Sasuke said. "Shut up, you maniac. You have no right to judge us. We were not responsible for the massacre. We were kids back then. How could we be responsible for what happened to your family?" shouted an enraged Kiba. Kiba's right intervened, Sai. "You cannot blame the actions of your brother on the whole village and us. What happened to your family was because of your brother, and no one else." "Shut up," said a shaking Sasuke. "You know nothing of what you speak of. My brother was a true ninja, a hero. He made the ultimate sacrifice. And for what? Just so that all of you could continue living in your fairy tales." Shikamaru saw that talking to him was pointless now. He was too far gone. Nothing could save him now, not even Naruto. Right now the most important thing is to save Sakura. Every single second counts, thought Shikamaru. He turned towards Sakura and Ino, and saw his longtime friend crying over Sakura's. Didn't know if this meant that she is already dead, or something else. While he was concentrating on Ino and Sakura, Sasuke once again activated his absolute defense and attack, Susanoo. It all happened too fast for the rookies to react. The ethereal being fired multiple arrows towards them. They couldn't do anything. Ino was too engrossed in trying to heal Sakura to even notice the danger coming upon her. There is nothing they could do. Any technique they could use to prevent the arrow from hitting took too long to activate. Shikamaru closed his eyes and smiled to himself. So this is it, huh? Dying at the hands of my one-time friend. What a troublesome way to go, thought a smiling Shikamaru. Sasuke could see fear in their eyes and took pleasure in that. This is the end for you, said Sasuke. Then something happened. The earth started to shake, the trees were shaking. In a split second, a yellow blur shot forward and deflected all of the arrows. Sasuke's eyes widened. Such speed. Who or what was that? Naruto? Impossible, no one could be that fast, not even him, said a surprised Sasuke. When the dust settled, you could see a lone figure standing before the rookies. His blue eyes slitted like a fox. He was covered in yellow chakra and had weird black markings all over his body. What power, what chakra, what is this? How did he get this strong? Is this the power of Kyuubi? Thought Sasuke. Hello, Sasuke, said Naruto. His shroud receded. He was breathing heavily. I'm still weak from that fight with Tobi, thought Naruto. His friends breathed and were saved. About time you arrived, smiled sadly Neji. Naruto turned around and gave them all a reassuring smile. Shikamaru gestured towards Sakura. When Naruto turned his sight towards Sakura, his heart broke. There she was, his love, all covered in blood and barely holding on. Naruto narrowed his gaze towards Sasuke. If looks could kill, Sasuke right then, and there would surely die 1,000 times over. How low you have fallen, Sasuke, said Naruto in a sad but firm voice. She was in the way. She brought this upon herself, said Sasuke smugly. I can't fight him right now. I'm exhausted and I can't fight and keep them safe at the same time, thought Naruto to himself. He turned towards his friends. They were all tired and hurt. They could barely stand, let alone put up a fight against Sasuke. He made his decision. Sasuke, leave, this is not the time and place for us to have our fight. Not yet, said Naruto, surprising everyone present except Sasuke and Shikamaru and Ino, who was still oblivious to the outside world. In 1 week, Naruto, in 1 week we fight. Meet me where it all started, said Sasuke while disappearing into the ground. Naruto lowered his guard and turned around to face his friends. They were happy to see him, alive and unharmed. Naruto gave them a small sad smile in return. He started moving towards Sakura. He was a few inches away from her. She was so small and his eyes so weak, fragile. Sakura-chan, he whispered. He got on his knees and took hold of her hand. This woke Ino. She looked up at him. Naruto said, a crying Ino. She couldn't finish that sentence. She wouldn't. This can't be happening, she thought to herself. Why her? It isn't fair. It's okay, Ino whispered. Sakura. It's okay. My time has come, croaked out Sakura. Ino's tears just wouldn't stop falling. Her best friend was dying in her arms and there was nothing she could do. Sakura-chan, whispered sadly Naruto. She turned towards him and gave him a small smile. Hey Baka, smiled Sakura. Naruto laughed sadly. I screwed up again, huh? I'm still a burden to you and everyone, said Sakura. Don't say that, Sakura. You were never a burden to me or everyone else. You are going to be alright, so please stop talking and let's get you some help, said an exhausted Naruto. No, this is as far as I go. My journey ends here, said Sakura. She started coughing after that and spat a small amount of blood. Everyone tensed seeing this. They all knew it. This were Sakura's final words. Ino took hold of her hand and squeezed tightly, showing her support and telling her she is there for her. Sakura recovered from her coughing fit and turned towards Ino. My best friend, rival. You were always there for me when I needed help. You were there for me when Sasuke left. You let me cry on your shoulders even though you were equally hurt by his departure. But you stayed strong for my sake. I thank you for everything you've done for me. You are the best friend anybody could hope to have in their life. I want you to find a man who is going to appreciate you for who you are and love you no matter what. Promise me that, Ino, said a now smiling Sakura. Ino didn't respond. She just squeezed her hand even more tightly and gave her a forced smile. That was all Sakura needed. No words were needed to be spoken. She turned her head towards Naruto, who has started crying. Naruto. He looked at her. I'm sorry. I was never a good friend to you. You were always there for me, in bad and good. You were the pillar that kept me going. You gave me hope of seeing Sasuke again. My only regret is that I couldn't return my love towards you. For that I am sorry, said Sakura. It's okay, Sakura-chan. I don't care anymore. As long as you were happy, that was enough for me, cried Naruto. Sakura smiled. Thank you, Naruto. I hope you find happiness in life. You deserve it more than anyone. Sakura turned her gaze towards the sky. It started to rain during their conversation. She could feel her strength leaving. It won't be long now. My dear friends. This is where we part way. This is my final wish to all of you. I want you all to get a family, have kids and live a peaceful life. I also want you to look after the Baka here. God knows he needs a good ass kicking once in a while. Everyone laughed at her joke. She smiled serenely and closed her eyes. She took one last breath and whispered just loud enough so that everyone could hear her. Goodbye, said a smiling Sakura. With that her body went limp. Ino started crying even more and embraced her body, not letting her go. Naruto lowered his head and cried silently. Everyone bowed their heads, all crying, mourning for their lost friend, comrade, family. They stayed like this for an hour. Later on they returned to the base, Naruto carrying Sakura bridal style, Ino right beside him, holding Sakura's hand, while everyone else formed a circle around them. When they arrived at the camp, Tsunade and other Kages were already waiting for them. When Tsunade saw Sakura's body, she nodded solemnly towards the group and led them to a secluded tent. Ninjas of all villages bowed their heads and showed their respect for the fallen ninja. They laid their body inside the tent and stayed with her through the night, saying goodbye for the last time. In the morning she was given a proper burial, while all of the army stood there and mourned for her and all of the friends they lost. The rookies were there, giving each other support and shoulders to cry on. Naruto looked at his friends and saw what hate can do to people. He swore on his blood, on his father and mother, on his godfather, that he will end this once and for all. He turned around and started walking towards his tent to gather his equipment. Ino looked at his retreating back. Good luck, she whispered. She turned back and watched the fire. When the burial ended, the Kages proposed a celebration for all the men and women who lost their lives defending their families and friends. Everyone attended except Naruto. He was already moving towards his destiny. The rookies and Tsunade knew this and let him go. There was nothing they could do except believe in Naruto, the child of prophecy. A week passed. The day of the battle has arrived. Sasuke and Naruto stood opposite each other just like 3 years ago. Both hardened warrior, legends of their own right. This was it. Everything would be decided here. They clashed. The battle that ensued could be felt all around the world. The battle lasted for several hours. The victor was unknown. All of the rookies and their senseis and the Ichiraku couple stood by the gate of Konoha waiting for the return of their hero. They stood there, not moving an inch for 2 days. 2 days later a figure could be seen moving towards the gate of Konoha. The figure was walking slowly, without a care in the world, a smile plastered on his face. His hair ruffling in the wind, his blue eyes shining peacefully. His shirt was torn, his pants were barely holding on, but despite everything he still walked towards Konoha, smiling all the way. When his friends saw him, they all ran towards him and tackled him on the ground, crying tears of happiness. He did it. He finally did it. Despite all odds he emerged victorious, just like always in his life. He rose from a boy who tried to survive on the streets to a man who brought peace to elemental nations. They all laughed, finally free, with no worries. Tsunade approached Naruto. His friends let him go. Tsunade smiled at him and gave him a bone-crushing hug. She let him go after a few minutes and gave him a kiss on the forehead and said, "Good job, Gaki." The rookies smiled at this show of affection. They all knew their Hokage saw Naruto as her son. They were family. They all were. A family of ninjas. They will stick by each other, forever, no matter what. Kakashi gave him his patented eye smile. Guy shouted something about youth. Karini, who was just about to pop, gave him the biggest smile she could muster while rubbing her stomach. Shikamaru decided to speak up and ask the question that plagued everybody's minds. "Naruto, what happened?" Naruto's smile turned into a sad one and answered, "If you all don't mind, I would rather not talk about it right now." They all understood. Even though he was lost in darkness, Sasuke was still his brother, the man who acknowledged him and became his rival in life. They couldn't imagine how painful it must have been, fighting against him knowing one of them would die. They nodded in understanding. He would tell them when he is ready. At that moment Chuji's stomach grumbled, easing the tension that formed. They all started laughing, while Chuji just scratched his head in embarrassment. Tsunade proposed a feast to welcome the return of Hero of Konoha. They all agreed while Tsunade went to inform the village of Naruto's return. The rookies decided to catch up and went to a nearby training ground. Kakashi offered to escort Karini to the hospital for her checkup. She agreed and they went on their way. Guy decided to join them and was shouting youth all the way to the hospital, much to the irritation of Kakashi and Karini. In the evening the whole village celebrated Naruto's return. Tsunade announced that this day will be a national holiday, for this is the day that Uzumaki Naruto brought peace to the world. The villagers and ninjas all agreed and gave a toast to their savior. Naruto was smiling the whole time. His wish was finally granted. He was acknowledged by everyone. He was no longer the demon child but a ninja of Konoha. Present time, 2 years later, we can see a figure kneeling in front of the memorial was wearing the standard Jounin flak jacket, black A and BU pants. He had a black headband tied around his forehead. He also wore a red cloak over his figure with black flames decorating the bottom of the cloak. There was some writing written on the cloak. It said Sage. His hands were tracing over certain names. Father, Mother, Erosenin and Sakura, whispered the figure to himself. "I miss you all. I wish you could be here with me." The figure smiled. At the same time someone else was walking towards the memorial stone, with a bouquet in her hands. She wore a purple top and a purple skirt that went down to her thighs. She had her headband tied around her neck. That person was Yamanaka Ino. She was smiling while walking towards the memorial stone. When she got there she saw a figure there kneeling. She didn't know who the person was, she wasn't anyone that she recognized from the village. All she saw was a red cloak and an inscription that said Sage. No, it can't be him. Is that Naruto? Thought Ino. She started walking towards the unknown man. The figure noticed her and turned around. Ino lost her breath. The man was definitely handsome. He had wild blonde hair, blue eyes, tan skin and 3 whisker marks on each cheek. Wait, whiskers! Naruto yelled Ino. She ran towards him and enveloped him in a hug. The figure, Naruto, was a bit startled and surprised at first but composed himself and returned the hug. Ino was laughing into his chest and crying tears of joy. Her friend was finally back. After 2 years he finally came back. She realized she was still hugging him and started blushing a bit and moved away from him. She hit him over the head yelling, Baka, where were you? You left without saying goodbye to us. Nobody knew where you went. Naruto picked himself up from the ground and started scratching his head and laughed sheepishly. Sorry about that. It was kinda on short notice. I was training with the toads. I needed to complete my training just like Erosenin did. Ino's anger subsided a bit. You could have at least sent us a message or something. We were worried about you, idiot. Said now a bit more calm Ino. I guess I lost track of time. Sorry. Said Naruto while giving her his foxy grin. Ino let out a breath. Who could stay mad while looking at that big goofy grin of his? Once a baka always a baka. Said a smiling Ino. Hey, that hurt. Said Naruto while pouting. Ino just laughed at his expression. Naruto joined her after a few seconds. They laughed for a few moments, just enjoying each other's company. After the laughter died down Naruto asked her, who are you here for? Asuma-sensei and Sakura. I come by here every month to bring fresh flowers for them. Naruto nodded and made his way over to her, and stood by and waited so that she finished praying. She stood after a few minutes. I can't believe 2 years have already passed. It all seems like it happened yesterday, said Ino solemnly. Naruto nodded and they just watched the stone in silence for a few moments. Ino finally perked up and said, alright, that's enough of the depressing stuff, it's time for some fun. You, mister, are going to take me out for lunch and you are going to pay, got it? Said Ino in a tone that said she won't take no for an answer. Naruto smiled still as bossy as ever. Ha, Ino. That's right, and you are still an idiot, responded a smiling Ino. Hee. Alright, where do you want to go? Asked Naruto. Ichiraku, shouted Ino. Naruto was surprised by her answer. He didn't know she liked ramen. Since when do you like ramen? Asked a confused Naruto. Since you left. I can see why you enjoyed going there every day. The ramen is great, the stand has this homey feeling, and the owners are the nicest people I know. Responded Ino. Naruto smiled at her, a true happy smile. Ino liking ramen, I've seen it all now. Haha, laughed Naruto. Ino playfully smacked his arm and pouted. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, responded a grinning Naruto. Alright, Ichiraku it is. Hold on, Ino. This might feel a bit weird, said Naruto. Ino didn't have time to ponder on his word. She was suddenly embraced by him, and they flashed away a second later. When she opened her eyes she was in front of the Ichiraku stand. She didn't even realize she was still holding on to Naruto, who was smiling down at her. When she woke up from her stupor she looked at him, and saw a pair of blue orbs staring down at her. I could lose myself in those eyes, thought Ino, who was blushing while looking up at him. Naruto saw this and smirked. Ino shook her head and turned her head away trying to hide her blush but to no avail. Naruto was smirking the entire time. Ino turned back and shouted, what? You were blushing? Like what you see, Ino? Teased Naruto. Ino's response was to blush even more, but she recovered quickly and hit him over the head while yelling Baka. She walked towards the stand while Naruto was trying to make sense of his surroundings. She sat down on the stool and was momentarily joined by a still grinning Naruto. She let out a breath and yelled, hey old man, I'm starving here. You could hear someone coming from the back, cursing something about blondes interrupting him during his break. Naruto stood transfixed, watching the door. The door opened and out came an old man in his 50s. Blondie, that's the 3rd time this week that you came during my break. You are killing me, said the old man while crossing his hands over his chest. Yeah, just give me 2 Yamanaka special, said a smiling Ino. Ichiraku just grunted and turned towards the other customer. He stood there and just observed the young customer. Then something finally clicked in his mind. Naruto? Asked Ichiraku. Naruto in response just unleashed his foxy grin and scratched his head. Naruto, it really is you. My boy, you came back. Where were you? We missed you. Hold on a second. I am. Get over here. You won't believe who is here, yelled Ichiraku. You could hear someone tripping over some pots and cursing. Out of the back came a young girl. Dad, this better be good, I was enjoying my break, said an irritated girl. Look, pointed Ichiraku towards Naruto. When Ayame saw Naruto she shrieked in delight and jumped over the counter and enveloped Naruto in a hug. Naruto was caught by surprise and fell off the stool. They landed in an awkward position with Ayame straddling him. Ichiraku grunted. Ayame realized what happened and got up quickly and blushed a bit. Ino, who was watching and saw them in that position, felt something stirring in her stomach. She didn't know what it was foreign for her. She put it out of her mind for now and just listened to the conversation between the three. They had a lot of catching up to do. Alright let's give Naruto a break. He just came back, he must be tired and hungry, said Ichiraku. Sorry. Alright Naruto, what will you have? Asked the smiling Ayam. 10 Uzumaki specials, please, answered a happy Naruto. Coming right up with that, the father and daughter duo went in the back to prepare the meals for the two customers. Naruto turned towards Ino with a raised eyebrow. Yamanaka special? Yeah, I'm kinda a regular customer here. So we decided to name a dish after me, grinned Ino. Man, it seems a lot has changed around here while I was gone. I can't wait to catch up with all my friends. What have you been up to, Ino? Asked Naruto. Well, I made jounin just like the rest of the rookies. I was offered to take a team but I declined. I took a job in the hospital. I'm the head psychiatrist. I help ninja and civilians deal with traumas and stuff like that. I still take an occasional mission so that I don't get rusty. What else? I was Tsunade's student for a year. She taught me a lot of medical techniques and Shizen showed me some stuff about poisons. I'm thinking about learning a new element. All I have right now is my clan techniques, and the stuff I learned from Tsunade and Shizen. I want to branch out a bit, to have more versatile techniques. Just in case you know. That's great, Ino. I'm happy for you. If you need help with the element, I would be happy to give you a few pointers, said Naruto. Thanks. I'll think about it. What about you? What changed with you? You must have gotten a lot stronger, asked Ino. You certainly got handsomer, thought Ino. Well, I mastered wind, water and lightning element. I'm Chunin level in fire and earth. In a few months I will be a master in sealing. I know some kenjutsu. I've perfected my taijutsu. Genjutsu skills are still non-existent. And that's pretty much it. I might have missed something, responded Naruto, pride evident in his voice. Ino was shocked. That's amazing, Naruto. You did that in just 2 years. How? You need to be a genius to learn all that. Not just a genius, a freaking super genius, responded a flabbergasted Ino. Naruto laughed a bit. Yeah, well, having a fox sealed inside you has some benefits, answered Naruto. Oh, sorry, it must feel awkward talking about Kyubi, said Ino in an apologizing voice. Nah, it's okay. I got over all that and so did Kyubi. He is a good friend and a better partner. We worked out our differences during the war. Once you get to know the big fur ball, he is kinda nice. Just don't tell anyone, he is kinda shy about that. He doesn't want his reputation to be ruined, said a grinning Naruto. Watch it, kid, I can still kick your ass, grunted Kurama. Come on, it's just Ino. She won't tell anyone. I hope. The last part was whispered so that Kurama couldn't hear him. I don't like it, but it's your ass on the line. But you certainly know how to pick him. That's one fine specimen of a woman you found there. And I've seen how you were looking at her. You can't deny you were checking her out, teased Kurama. Naruto blushed. Shut up, you oversized furball. She's just a friend. Now go back to sleep, answered a blushing and irritated Naruto. Kurama just laughed in response and fell back asleep. Ino was watching Naruto, who blacked out for a second. His eyebrow was twitching and he was blushing. I wonder what's going on with him, thought Ino. Naruto? You in there? Asked Ino, who moved closer to his face and waved her hand in front of his face. Naruto opened his eyes and saw Ino dangerously close to his face. His blush deepened. He could feel her breath against his face. It was so warm. Her eyes were beautiful, her lips so inviting. Kurama started laughing in the background. That woke Naruto up from his daydreaming. Yeah, Ino, I'm alright, stuttered Naruto. Ino was in the same situation as him. She was blushing profoundly. She didn't even realize that she was that close to his face. She quickly moved her face away from his and turned towards the counter. I was having a talk with Kyubi. He doesn't like it when I share stuff that involve him, said Naruto, who recovered a bit from the awkward situation. Oh, I thought you were thinking, but then I realized that it is you and that you don't think, ever, responded Ino in a teasing manner. Naruto grunted and pouted and said something about bossy blondes. While this was happening, Ayam was watching the two blondes conversing and saw them blushing and gained an evil smirk. Teasing time, thought an excited Ayam. She walked out with their meals. Here you go, Naruto. Dad says it's on the house. Thanks, Ayam Nekin, said Naruto. And Yamanaka special for your girlfriend, teased Ayam. Both blondes turned bright red at her remark. Naruto suddenly found his bowl very interesting, and so did Ino. Ayam just laughed at their expressions and went back to help her father with the cooking. They ate their meal in silence, not wanting to face each other after Ayam's teasing. When they finished their meals, Ino was going to pay for her meal, but Naruto offered to pay as a thank you for a warm welcome and a good laugh. Ino thanked him and smiled. Such a gentleman, thought Ino dreamily. Well, it's been fun, Ino. It's time I go see Tsunade and get my beating for leaving for 2 years, said a slightly nervous Naruto. Ino laughed at his predicament. Well, it serves you right, you big idiot. She gave him a hug and kissed him on the cheek, and then quickly ran away to hide her blush. She yelled thanks for the meal. We should do it again sometime, and then she was just a blur down the street. Meanwhile, Naruto was still in ecstasy from that hug and kiss. Wait, did she just say we should do it again? Nah, I must have heard her wrong, right? Kurama was again heard laughing in the background. Naruto gained a tick mark on his forehead and clenched his fist while shouting in his mind at his laughing partner, damn furball. Well, I'm off to a good start. I wonder what else Konoha has in store for me. Alright, here we go. Time to get my ass kicked, said Naruto while pumping his fist into the air. Hokage's office. It was a day just like any other for the 5th Hokage, Tsunade Senju. She was currently doing paperwork, the bane of her existence, and at the same time indulging herself with a bottle of sake. After the war, things slowed down in the ninja world. The villages have formed a permanent alliances with each other, so the threat of another war is non-existent. Another good thing about this whole peace thing is less paperwork, considerably less. It's been a good 2 years for the 5th. The only thing missing is her ball of sunshine, her local knucklehead, Naruto. It's been 2 years already. You better come back soon or I will beat the shit out of you, thought Tsunade. She was unaware of a figure climbing her tower. She is in for a nasty surprise. Couple of minutes before, Naruto was walking towards the Hokage tower. The people were looking at him and were wondering who this person was and why was he so familiar. The people who did recognize him bowed their heads in respect and gave him a happy smile. Naruto responded with a small smile and with a slight bow of his head. Well, this is new. People are genuinely happy to see me even after 2 years. And what's with the girls? They are acting weird, thought Naruto. You could see groups of girls talking to each other and occasionally taking a glance towards Naruto and giggling. Naruto just gave them a small smile and continued his trek towards the tower. He was taking his time, enjoying in the scenery, taking in the sights of Konoha. It has been too long. I miss this place. Glad to see Konoha recovered from Nagato's destruction, thought Naruto, who was smiling the entire time. Minutes later he could see the tower in his sight. A wave of nostalgia hit him. All the memories he experienced in that tower came rushing back. The time he spent with Gigi, Grandma, Shizen, Erosenin. Those were some of the best moments of his life. Yep, I definitely miss this place, thought Naruto. I wonder what Bakon is doing. Probably drinking or sleeping. Lazy old hag, smiled Naruto. An idea formed in his head and a grin spread across his face. Why use the front door when I can use a play from Erosenin's book, schemed a grinning Naruto. He used his camouflage jutsu taught by Erosenin and started climbing the tower. He reached the window and saw Tsunade actually working. Now this is a pleasant surprise. Grandma is actually working, thought a surprised Naruto. She narrowed his gaze and saw a bottle of sake on the desk. No wonder she's working, she's probably drunk and isn't aware of what she's doing, thought Naruto. Time to give her a heart attack and get my ass kicked. He took a deep breath. Back and yelled Naruto. The effect was instantaneous. Tsunade spat all of her sake across the room, knocked over her table with all of her paperwork now lying on the floor and messed up. Her personal A and B responded quickly and appared in the room and were surprised with the scene. They could barely contain their laughter. You could hear a couple of snickers coming from their mouth. But they quickly stopped when they saw an angry Tsunade. The leader made the best choice of his career and ordered his squad to return to their hiding spots. It took me all morning to file this paper. I'm going to kill the man who did this, raged Tsunade in her mind. She turned around and was speechless. Minato, thought Tsunade. Tsunade, you are drunk again, seeing ghosts, and it's not even 2 o'clock yet, thought a mildly drunk and confused Tsunade. Naruto was laughing hysterically on the windowsill. He was laughing and there were a few tears in his eyes. Too bad he didn't have a camera with him. That would make a perfect picture. Tsunade recovered and saw a laughing blonde with whiskers sitting on her window. That damn brat. Scaring me and then laughing at me. I'll show him, she smirked, thinking how she would get even with him. She walked towards him and picked him up his collar and grinned evilly. Naruto stopped laughing and opened his eyes to come face to face with the murderous gaze of Tsunade. Crap, here comes the pain. He prepared himself for the pain that was coming. Tsunade gathered all of her strength and flung him across the room, where he impacted with the door and the wall behind it. The entire tower shook because of the impact. Chunin's assistants were running amok, trying to catch the falling items and try to salvage what they could. Naruto was desperately trying to remain conscious, but it was proving to be quite a difficult task. He eventually managed to recover from the atomic bomb he just received. Damn, she still packs quite a punch, thought Naruto, who was holding his head trying to clear his dizziness. Tsunade was tapping her foot in irritation and waited for Naruto to pick himself up. Is that how you greet someone after you haven't seen them for 2 years? Yelled an angry Tsunade. I swear, you are even worse than that old pervert. Naruto just smiled in response and scratched his head and walked towards her. Hey, somebody has got to keep you in shape, otherwise your old ass will get rusty and dusty, said a grinning Naruto. Tsunade moved towards him till they were only a couple of inches away from each other. She was glaring at him for a couple of moments, but relented soon afterwards. She hugged him tightly, like a mother would. Naruto hugged her back. He heard her whisper, "Welcome back, Gaki. It's good to be back. I miss you all," responded Naruto in a quiet manner. They stayed like that for a couple of seconds and then they separated and smiled to each other. Tsunade went back to her chair and picked up her desk and called for Shizen. Naruto sat down in front of her and waited for the questions that were coming. So, where were you? Your messenger toad wasn't very forthcoming with information. He only said you were training and nothing else, questioned Tsunade. I was completing my sage training with the toads. There was still a lot of things I had to learn. That took me about half a year. After that I focused on mastering my elements, and I studied sealing. I must say seals are very interesting. No wonder my father and mother enjoyed studying them, responded Naruto with a faraway look, thinking about his parents. Tsunade smiled at him, thinking how much he looked and acted like them. He definitely was their son. Minato, Kushina, you would be proud of the man he became, smiled Tsunade. At that time Shizen came in through the hole where the door once was. She saw the mess in the room and sighed deeply. I'm too old for this, thought a tired Shizen. She saw Tsunade talking with a person with a red cloak with black flames in the bottom. The figure turned around when he heard footsteps. Shizen's heart started beating happily. Her brother came back. A tear escaped her eyes and she smiled happily. Naruto saw her and stooped up and went to her to give her a hug. Hello Shizen-nekin. I miss you, said Naruto. Shizen just hugged him tighter. They separated a couple of moments later. Shizen went to stand next to Tsunade, who was smiling at their interaction. I'm sure you both have a lot of questions, so fire away, said Naruto, who made himself comfortable in his chair. They spend the next hour just chatting away, asking questions, and basically catching up the lost time. Meanwhile, a certain blonde was skipping happily down the main street of Konoha. She had a huge smile on her face. People were looking at her funnily, thinking she's crazy or something. Ino paid them no mind. She was happy. Her friend came back, she had a lovely lunch with a handsome man, and she is free from work today. She spotted someone walking down the street. It was one of her oldest friends and teammates. Shikamaru, Temari, yelled Ino. Woman, sighed Shikamaru. Temari elbowed him in the ribs. Shikamaru grumbled something about girlfriends and their heavy punches. Hey Ino. How you've been? You certainly look happy. What happened? Responded Temari with a small smile. Shikamaru just gave her a small wave and a smile. Ino and Temari formed a nice friendship when Temari moved to Konoha, when Shikamaru asked her to move in with her after 2 years of relationship. They spend a lot of afternoons together just chatting and gossiping, while Ino was doing the gossiping. Why wouldn't I be happy? I just had one of the best mornings of my life, said a smiling Ino. Shikamaru raised an eyebrow, his mind already working full speed. It was unusual seeing Ino so happy. Sure, she was always loud and smiled, but not like this. This was different, very different. Oh, do tell, said an intrigued Temari. She was genuinely interested. Whatever she did, must have been great, seeing she wore that big smile on her face. I just spent lunch with our local sage, winked Ino. Temari made a confused face. Shikamaru smirked, he already connected all the pieces of the puzzle. There is only one sage that could make Ino smile like that. Troublesome. I'm guessing the idiot is finally back, huh? Said Shikamaru lazily and with a small smile that showed he was happy to have his friend back. Ino nodded vigorously, her smile never leaving her face. Temari realized who they were talking about after Shikamaru's idiot remark. There is only one idiot and a sage in this village, Naruto. Naruto's finally back. He has a lot of explaining to do. Gaara and Kankuro will want to hear of this, said Temari. Well, I will leave that up to you. I'm actually planning a gathering of the rookies to celebrate Naruto's return. Would you two come? Questioned Ino, who was still smiling. Man, her face must be hurting from all that stretching, thought the narrator. Of course, we would love to come. It's been a while since we've seen that baka. Right, Shikamaru? Said Temari, who gave Shikamaru a stern look, saying he will definitely have to go. Troublesome was Shikamaru's defeated answer. Great. Let's meet up at 8 in the Akimichi barbecue shop. I will notify the others. I will also stop by Naruto's place to tell him about the meeting and persuade him to join us, said a smirking Ino. Troublesome blonde, said Shikamaru. You certainly want to spend a lot of time with Naruto. He just came back and you are already planning the wedding, said a laughing Temari. Ino slightly blushed after that remark and Shikamaru noticed it and smirked. Naruto, you certainly work fast, thought Shikamaru. Shut up. It's nothing like that. He is just a friend. Sure, he's handsome and everything and has gorgeous blue eyes and those whiskers marks give him this feral look, but that doesn't mean I like him or anything, said Ino, who didn't even realize that she started daydreaming about Naruto. The couple just smirked and laughed a bit. Sure, Ino, whatever you say, said a giggling Temari. Ino glared at the couple and muttered something about annoying couples, who think they know everything. After that they separated and promised to meet up in the evening. Ino started walking towards Chuji's house to make a reservation and then she would notify the others. Later on, Naruto was finished being interrogated by Tsunade and Shizen and said his goodbyes to the two, saying that he is tired and wants to go to sleep. They nodded in understanding. They knew he must have been exhausted after all that training and questioning, not to mention from that super punch from Tsunade. Naruto used the rooftops to get to his apartment faster and to avoid any interruptions. He was there in a couple of minutes. He opened the door and was surprised. He expected his room to be all dusty and messy, but instead it was all clean and shiny, and it smelled of flowers. I wonder who took care of my apartment, thought a confused Naruto. He noticed a picture on his nightstand. It was the picture of the old Team 7, the picture which he broke before the war, but someone fixed it. Someone must really care about me, thought Naruto. He shrugged and put that thought of his mind for now. It wasn't important at the moment. What he needed right now was a long, hot shower. With his mind made up, he strolled towards his bathroom. He turned on the shower and waited for the right temperature so that it wasn't too cold or too hot. Satisfied, he took off his clothes and stepped in the shower. He could feel his body relaxing, all the tension and stress just washed away. I needed this, thought a relaxed Naruto. In the street in front of Naruto's apartment, Ino was currently walking towards Naruto's apartment. She told her friends about the gathering to celebrate Naruto's return. They were all thrilled to hear of Naruto's return, and couldn't wait to see him after such a long time. With her mission finished, all she needed to do right now was to tell the star of the show of their little gathering. He is probably still with Tsunade. I'll just leave him a message and hopefully that idiot will notice it, thought Ino. She climbed the stairs of Naruto's apartment building and walked towards his apartment. She took her spare key, which was given to her by Tsunade so that she could take care of his apartment during his absence. She inserted the key and turned it. There was a click, which signified that the door was now unlocked. She entered, but she was not alone. At the same time another person stepped out of the apartment, wearing nothing but a small towel over his lower region. Ino blushed like never before. There before her stood a god among men, with a body that everyone would kill for. All those muscles, that perfect tan, that sweat drooled Ino. Naruto was faring a bit better than Ino. He was startled at first when he saw her walk into his apartment. Thank God for this towel, or this would certainly be a very awkward situation, thought a relieved Naruto. He saw that she was checking him up and that there was actually a bit of saliva gathering in her mouth. Haha, this is going to be fun. Payback time for that kiss, grinned Naruto. Earth to Ino. Is anyone there? Said Naruto. Ino didn't respond and continued to stare at him. Naruto just smirked. Come on, Ino. I know I'm gorgeous, but please show some restraint. You are practically undressing me with your eyes. Not that there is much to undress, teased Naruto. Ino snapped out of her staring and looked away so that she wasn't looking at him directly. Don't flatter yourself. You ain't that special. I've seen better. Her statement would have more merit if she wasn't still blushing and occasionally stealing quick glances to his body. Are you sure? I think I saw you droll a bit earlier. It's okay. I won't tell anyone. This will be our little secret, winked Naruto. Shut up, idiot. Don't just stand there. Get dressed already, responded Ino while trying to give him a stern glare, but it wasn't working. Naruto laughed and turned towards his bedroom and put on some regular black t-shirt and some pants. He walked out and saw Ino sitting on his couch. Well, she's certainly made herself at home, thought Naruto. He didn't care, this is Ino after all. She doesn't ask, she just takes what she wants. So, what do you want, Ino? Missed me already? Oh, how come you have a key to my apartment? Questioned Naruto. Ino turned towards him and was disappointed to see Naruto fully dressed. Her show was ruined, cried Ino in her mind. Don't push your luck. I just came by to tell we're having a gathering to welcome you back to the village. All of the rookies are coming. We are going to meet up at a Kimichi's barbecue restaurant at 8. And no excuses, if you don't get there on time, I will come for you and drag you there myself. Glared Ino. Seriously? You didn't have to do that for me. I was going to pay everyone a visit tomorrow. But this is actually better. I'll be there, no doubt about that. You didn't answer my last question. Why do you have my key? Responded Naruto. Oh, Tsunade gave it to me one day. I asked her to give it to me so that I could clean your apartment. I didn't want you to come back home and sleep in a dirty apartment, said Ino in a calm manner. I see. That was very nice of you. You've been doing a lot of nice things for me lately. First lunch, then this gathering, and to top it all off you've been taking care of my apartment. I don't know what to say. I'll make it up to you. I promise, responded a mildly shocked and surprised Naruto. Why would Ino be this nice to me all of a sudden? We were never actually close. She certainly changed a lot, thought Naruto. It's okay. You don't have to do anything. You've already done enough for me, for all of us. You deserve a break once in a while. Smiled Ino. Naruto smiled back. This was nice to him. Nobody ever helped him and showed him this kind of kindness apart from Bakon, Erosenin, and Gigi. It felt good, he felt warm. Anyway, my job is done. I need to go home and prepare for this evening. I will see you later in the evening. Take care, Naruto. See ya, said Ino, who was already walking out of his apartment. Bye, Ino. See ya, responded Naruto with a wave. I guess I should also prepare and look in my closet what I have to wear. Later in the evening, a Kimichi restaurant. Where is that idiot? Questioned an irritated Kiba. Calm down, Kiba. He's not late yet. He still has a couple of minutes. He knows what will happen if he will be late, said Ino with an evil smirk. Troublesome blonde, said Nara lazily. What was that, Shika? I couldn't hear you. Speak up, said Ino with a glare. Alright everybody, let's calm down. No reason to get angry with one another. I'm sure Naruto will come any minute now. Let's catch up in the meantime. It's been a while since we last gathered like this. said Niji in his stoic manner. They spend the next few minutes waiting for Naruto, chatting and joking around. 8 p.m. sharp the door to the restaurant opened, and in came Naruto. He wore a black muscle t-shirt, with some blue swirls covering the edges of the shirt. He wore simple black with some hint of red shinobi pants. His headband was tied around his shoulder, allowing his hair to fall down freely across his forehead. All in all, he looked good judging by the looks he was receiving from the female patrons in the restaurant. "Hey guys. Long time no see," said Naruto using his foxy grin to avoid any beating for leaving for 2 years. "Naruto," they all yelled. They stood up and went towards him to properly greet him, using man hugs and for the girls some awkward hugs. "How you've been, man? You certainly had us worried. If it weren't for Tsunade telling us you were training, we would have sent out a search party for you." "Idiot. Next time leave a message," growled Kiba in the end, but there was no malice in the end, just playfulness. They all took a seat so that they can more comfortable while they talk. Naruto took the seat between Ino and Shuji. Across from him were seated Shikamaru, Temari, who was leaning on his shoulder, and Shino. To the right side of the table were Lee, who was barely containing his youthfulness, Niji and Tenten, who seemed to be very comfortable with each other. On the left side were Kiba, Hinata, who Naruto noticed wasn't as shy as before. She was still blushing, mind you, but not as much as before. With them was also Sai, who was smiling, and not his fake smile but his real smile. Just another person who was changed by the child of prophecy. "Yeah, sorry about that. Everything happened so quickly. I came home from that war celebration, and next thing I knew I was summoned to the realm of the Toads. They told me that my training wasn't finished, and that this is a path that all sages of the Toads need to take," responded Naruto with a tinge of regret in his voice for leaving his friends without a proper goodbye. "Typical. Whenever you leave, it's because of training. The training trip with Lord Jiraiya, the mission to get Tsunade, the mission to conquer your Bija, and now this. Will you ever stop trying? You know, it's hard for us mortals to keep up with you," responded Kiba in a fake hurt manner. "Ha. I can't help it. Training is relaxing and fun for me. It's not my problem you can't keep up, mutt," said Naruto with a smirk on his face. The two friends glared at each other, but it lacked the aggression. They relented a few moments later and just laughed, while others joined them. "Anyway, it's good to have you back. Gaara and Kankuro will be thrilled to hear of your return. You were sorely missed. This place needed some color back. It was getting kinda boring, and this lazy idiot wasn't any better," said Temari while sending a glare to Shikamaru, who just shrugged his shoulder and let out a sigh. "Thanks, Temari. I'm guessing you two finally got together, huh? It's about time, if you asked me." "You certainly were stubborn about this whole relationship thing," said Naruto in a happy tone. "Yeah. It's been 2 years now. We realized after the war that pretty much anything can happen, so we went for it. After a year, Shikamaru asked me to move to Konoha. With some negotiation with Gaara, I was assigned as a permanent ambassador for Konoha. Yep, life has been great so far. How about you, seeing someone, or have you found her already?" said Temari while sending a look towards Ino which Naruto caught. He blushed and tensed a bit, but nobody noticed except Shikamaru, Shino and Niji. They looked at each other and smiled. Well, Shino just raised his eyebrow. Ino was in the same position. She was finding her lap very interesting, and she was fidgeting a bit. Lee, who was going to explode, because of all the pent-up youthfulness, decided to shout his opinion. "Yash, Naruto-kun, your fire of youth is burning as bright as ever. I would love to test my youth against yours. If I lose, I'm going to run around Konoha 1,000 times, and if I can't finish," yelled Lee in his normal manner. They tuned him out for the time being, at least until he stops describing his ridiculous training. Naruto and Ino were just glad to change the subject. "That's great, Lee. I would love to spar against you," responded Naruto with a kind smile directed towards his energetic friend. Lee responded with an equal smile. "Anyway guys, I'm dying to know what you've been up to. Judging by Ino's fantastic progress, I can't wait to hear of your exploits," said Naruto. Ino blushed slightly at his subtle compliment, but she recovered fast. "I'll go first," interjected Kiba. "I'm a jounin. I'm in charge of my own tracker team. My team is one of the best in the village, just behind my sister's, and I'm dating the prettiest girl in the village." With that, he gently squeezed Hinata's hand and gave her a loving smile. Naruto looked at them and saw the love. He would still have to talk to Hinata about the whole confession thing. But that can come later. "I'm happy for you guys. You deserve it," smiled Naruto. "Ano, I'm a jounin and I'm helping in the hospital. I'm helping them with the studies about healing creams and lotions. I'm also helping my sister, Hanabi, become a good clan head," said Hinata with a slight stutter in her voice. Naruto smiled at her and gave her a compliment. Sai went next. "I'm the leader of the root program which Tsunade approved. We are collaborating with her and her ANBU. I made some changes to the program. I molded it after the ANBU but still retained some of the features from before," said Sai with a small smile. "Wow. Not bad, Sai. Always knew you had it in ya," said Naruto with pride. "Thanks, Les," teased Sai. Naruto gave him a hard look and glared at him. Everyone just laughed at their bickering. Some things never change, they all thought. Since I already talked about myself, I think Nara here would love to pick things up. Right, Nara? Said Temari while sending some motivation towards Shikamaru ribs. Troublesome. I'm a jounin and I help Dad in the intelligence and strategy department. And I have to take care of a troublesome girlfriend. Responded Shikamaru. Oh, shut up. You know you love me, you big oaf. Said Temari while giving him a kiss on the cheek. Everyone smiled at their affection. They certainly are a weird couple, thought the rookies. Chuji went up next, who was no longer fat as before. He was still rough around the edges but much better than before. I'm also a jounin and I'm in charge of my own genin team. They are a lively little bunch. They bicker a lot but they've got potential. My dad also started to train me to become the clan head. He thinks I'll be ready in a few years. I'm also dating someone but that's a secret for now. Said Chuji. Damn Chuji. That's a lot to take in. You certainly were busy. Smiled Naruto. Thanks man. We all can't be heroes so we've got content ourselves with normal, mortal stuff. Said Chuji with a smirk. The others joined him. Haha, very funny Chuji. You are all heroes in my eyes, you know that. Smiled Naruto. They gave him a smile in return. It's nice to be appreciated. Yash, my turn. I'm also a jounin and have my own team. They are all shinning with the power of youth. Yelled Lee, prideful of his team. Naruto smiled and told him he would love to meet his team. Shino decided to end his quiet time. Hello Naruto. I'm also a jounin and a poison specialist. Tsunade founded a new department for poison research and put the Aburain clan in charge. My father is the head of the department, and I'm his assistant, and next in line to take charge. Shino said in a stoic manner. Phew Shino. Busy as a bee, huh? Smirked Naruto. Shino nodded at his little joke. Tenten took charge. I'm a jounin also. I'm the leading weapons specialist in the village. But I'm not like the rest of these maniacs. I took a job in the academy to teach kids the value and importance of weapons. I like the simple things in life, said Tenten with a bit sadness, because of not achieving as much as her other peers. Tenten, that's awesome. I always respected teachers ever since I met Iruka-sensei. Don't sell yourself short. What you've achieved is nothing to snort at. You should be proud of yourself. I know I am, said Naruto with a big smile. Tenten brightened and thanked him for the show of confidence. Niji took hold of her hand and smiled at her. Naruto noticed this. Another couple, huh? I'm away for 2 years and you are all paired up, said Naruto. Well, not everyone. Ino is still free. Teased Temari. Shut up, you big blonde bimbo. Blushed and glared Ino. Ha ha ha. Naruto just laughed at their bickering and so did others. Naruto saw that there was no anger present in their arguing. The others were used to this, and they knew they were good friends. Well, I guess I'm last. You know what they say. Keep the best for last. Joked Niji. Holy shit. Did Niji just make a joke? Shouted a shocked Naruto. Others just laughed at his expression. They've gotten used to the new Niji. Shut up. I wasn't that bad before, said Niji in a hurt manner, but was still smiling. Yes you were. Remember, you had that huge stick in your ass. Smirked Naruto. The table started shaking, because of the laughter. He has a point, Niji. You were pretty stuck up, said Kiba, still snickering. Others nodded in approval. Yeah? That's in the past now. Anyway, I'm a jounin and the head of the branch family. I'm helping Hinata teach Hanabi how to run a clan. I must say, Hanabi will make a great clan head. Ever since she started hanging around with Konohamaru, she certainly changed. She mellowed out and became more humble, good qualities for a leader to have. Said Niji. Konohamaru, huh? That sounds like him. I wonder what he did. Said Naruto. I must say guys, you've blown me away with your achievements. I'm proud of all you guys. It looks like I have to catch up to all of you, huh? I'm still a measly genin, said Naruto, hurt by his rank. Ino raised an eyebrow. I thought he was jounin, since he wore a jounin jacket. She filed that away for later. His friends laughed at his predicament. Haha, the hero of Konoha and Elemental Nation still a genin. That's just priceless. Laughed Kiba. Bite me, Mud, responded Naruto with a friendly glare. They laughed for a couple of moments. So, I'm sure we've all been dying to find out about your training. So, fire away Naruto, said Niji after he calmed down. Others nodded and paid close attention on his next words. Naruto told them all about what he did, his training with the toads, training his elements and seals. To say they were shocked would be an understatement. They knew he would get stronger, but this was insane. Nobody could improve that much in such a short time. But then again, this is Naruto we're talking about. He makes the impossible possible. With that the evening ended. They each went their own way. The last ones there were Temari, Shikamaru and Ino. Naruto. It's time to go, Shika. I'm tired, said a tired Temari. Shikamaru nodded and took her hand. They waved at their friend and said goodbye. Well, I guess it's just you and me, huh, Ino? Said Naruto. Ino smiled. Let me walk you home. It's been a long day. Thanks, Ino. I appreciate it. They walked towards her home in a blissful silence. Ino decided to ask a question. Hey Naruto, Humed Naruto. You said you weren't jounin? Then how come you were wearing a jounin flak jacket? Questioned Ino. Oh. That wasn't my jacket. It was a memento from my father. It's one of the few things I have left that remind me of him. Said Naruto, who had a small smile on his face. You know who your parents are? Said a shocked Ino. Naruto nodded. Yes. I knew for a while now. I found out before the war actually. Said Naruto. Seriously. How come you never told us? Don't you trust us? Questioned Ino, slightly hurt by his decision. Of course I trust. I trust you with my life. But it was too risky back then. My heritage would bring more harm than good. So I kept it for myself until everything settled down, responded Naruto hastily, not wanting to offend and anger Ino. Well, everything settled down now. I'm all ears. Smirked Ino. Now where's the fun in that? Let's make a game out of it. If you manage to find out the identity of at least one of my parents, I will teach you one of my techniques. The time limit is 1 week. If you lose I get to you know what, let's keep it a surprise. I promise it won't be something perverted and you can always say no if you don't like my idea. Said Naruto. Ino pouted, because she really wanted to know about his parents. But she would content herself with a little game. I mean, how hard can it be to find out about his parents, thought Ino. If you only knew Ino. I don't like it but okay. If you say so. Said Ino. Great. There are no rules. You can use whatever means necessary to find the necessary information. Said Naruto. Ino nodded, liking the sound of that. They were so engrossed in their conversation, they didn't even realize they were standing in front of Ino's house. Well, this is it. I'll see you later, Ino. Sweet dreams. Said Naruto. Likewise, Naruto. And thank you for walking me home. That was sweet of you. Said Ino, who gave him a small hug. She turned towards her house. She turned back and saw Naruto still standing at the same spot, stunned because of the hug. She smiled at him, and went inside. Man. She's hugging me a lot lately. Said Naruto with a smile. With that he started walking back towards his home, reminiscing about today's events. He couldn't help but think if every day is going to be so good. And that's a wrap. Next chapter, some training, Ino searching for information, basically the development of their relationship. It was 5 a.m. in the morning. Normally people wouldn't even dream of thinking of getting up at that time. Sadly, one particular ninja didn't have a choice in the matter. The reason, one alarm clock from the deepest pits of hell was ringing out of control. What the hell, shouted Naruto. The alarm scared the bejesus, something I heard in Top Gear, out of him. Who the hell set up my alarm to beep at 5 a.m. in the morning? I'm going to kill that idiot. Whoever he is, he's a walking dead man, yelled in irritation Naruto, who was in the process of picking himself up from the floor of his apartment. He walked towards his nightstand where the clock was, while rubbing his temples trying to clear all the morning fogginess. He saw a note behind it. Dear Gaki, this is payback for before. Love back on. Said the note. Damn, I just got pranked by a 50-year-old woman. I'm losing my touch. You may have won this battle back on, but the war will be won by me, Databeo. Vowed Naruto. He proceeded to raise again the clock repeatedly so that this never happens again. He sighed. There's no way I'll be able to go back to sleep now. I might as well make the most of it. Ramen time, mused Naruto, who pumped his fist in the air at his end remark but immediately regretted doing that, because the fogginess returned full force. But first, a long and relaxing shower. With that he strolled towards his bathroom to take a well-deserved shower. After 20 minutes, or so he came out of the steamy shower, and changed into his ninja clothes. With that he left towards his destination. Ichiraku, here I come. He was nothing but a blur while jumping across rooftops towards his destination. Ichiraku. A few seconds later, an old man could be seen yawning behind the counter, trying to wake himself up. The man, in his old age, wanted nothing more than to pass on his restaurant to his daughter, but alas, that was just a wish. His daughter, while extremely capable, is still just one man, a woman. And that is not enough to run this place, especially now when the black hole aka Naruto returned. Let it also be known that Ichiraku doesn't like to be scared shitless. As would be seen in a couple of moments, old man yelled Naruto at the top of his lungs, and then it happened. It all happened so suddenly. The knife appeared out of nowhere. Seriously, it's like it came from the heavens themselves to aid their owner. Next thing Naruto knew, something was flying past his head, inches away from his eyes. If it weren't for his insane reflexes, he wouldn't be able to see the finer things in life, like Ino's firm ass and long legs. Me like, thought both the narrator and Naruto. Note to self, don't ever scare old man again. Thought of very scared Naruto. Naruto, don't ever scare me like that again. I think I had a small heart attack. Said a painting Ichiraku, who had a hand over his heart area. Sorry. I didn't mean to, I swear. Please don't throw any knives, please. Said a pleading Naruto. Oh, sorry about that. Reflex, I guess. Said an embarrassed Ichiraku, who took a play from Naruto's book and scratched his head in a very Naruto-like manner. Reflex my ass. Not even seasoned ninjas have that kind of reflexes. Seriously, you are like a demon in disguise. Smirked Naruto playfully. Haha, very funny. Laugh all you want, I'm still the one that decides if you get any ramen or not. Grinned Ichiraku. Please don't take away my ramen. Don't take away the nectar from gods. I'll do anything, please, begged Naruto, who got on all four and bowed his head in submission. Ichiraku just laughed at his response. I missed this, thought the bemused old man. Settle down. While I would like to punish you, this place still needs money to operate, and you do contribute a lot of it. So all is forgiven for now, said the old man, who was pleased with his witty remarks. Yup, still got it, thanks old man. Now bring me my drug. 5 miso ramens please, said a now smiling Naruto, happy to escape old man's judgment. With that the old man excused himself and went to work. His place took an also yawning Ayam. She's clearly not a morning person, judging from the state of her hair. Morning Ne-chan. Sleep well? Teased Naruto. Ayam just flipped him the bird and sat down on the stool behind the counter, and proceeded to fix her hair. A while later she finished her morning routine and started chatting with Naruto. No girlfriend today. What happened? Did you do something to piss her off after 24 hours? Teased Ayam. She's not my girlfriend, yelled Naruto. Seriously. People need to stop saying that. We've just happened to have met at the memorial and went to lunch together. No big deal. Friends do that, you know. So what if she saw me naked? That was an accident, said Naruto, who realized his slip-up and quickly put a hand over his mouth, while blushing. Oh? Naked, you say? You certainly work fast, Naruto. Never thought you were such a ladies' man. Giggled Ayam. Oh, shut up. I had a towel protecting my manhood. Grumbled Naruto. Ayam just continued to giggle, which caused Naruto to give her one of his brotherly glares. You know, one day I will pay you back for all of your teasing. As soon as I find out that you are seeing someone, all hell will break loose. And that's a promise, Databeo, Vovia Naruto. That shut Ayam up. She was seeing someone, but they were keeping it a secret for now. Oh man, I had to go overboard with the teasing. I hope he forgets about this whole thing. Who am I kidding? This is Naruto. Of course he won't forget, thought Ayam, who was regretting her actions, but not for long. Still, it was worth it. Yeah, keep dreaming, Naruto. Responded Ayam quickly. She went to the kitchen to get Naruto's dosage of ramen. The duo returned and talked with Naruto about his plans now that he's back in the village. He said he'll just go with the flow. One thing he will definitely have to do is become a freaking jounin. Can't stay genin for life, you know. With that he bid the duo goodbye. Well, time to burn of these calories. Some light training should do the trick, said Naruto to himself. He went towards his favorite training ground, the one he and his perverted master used to use. The perverted training ground. As soon as he arrived, a wave of memories attacked his mind. The time when the pervert taught him how to water walk and summon. When they used to spar together, laugh together, eat the frozen popsicles, or when he yelled at him for peeping on women at the waterfall. Ah, good times. I hope you are happy wherever you are, Erosenin, said Naruto, who looked up to see a bright blue sky and saw a smiling Jiraiya looking down at him. He closed his eyes and smiled back and stood there for a few moments, just letting the wind circle around him. Alright, time to sweat. He proceeded to do some light jogging and some strength exercises. After that he focused on his elements. He made 100 clones and divided them into 4 groups of 25. Each group would either take fire, water, earth or lightning to practice elemental manipulation, while the original one would tackle wind. I've already mastered wind, but there is a level beyond that. Kakashi told me once that there were some users who could control the air flow with their chakra. Well, time to test that, said Naruto, who took a lotus position on the ground and started to focus. If someone were to be passing by, they would see a bunch of Narutos practicing the elements. Some would be burning down trees with their chakra, some would form whirlpools on the lake, others trying to make a boulder, and some trying to create small sparks of lightning on their fingers. There would also be a lone Naruto meditating and be surrounded by a small twister. Truly a remarkable sight. After an hour or two Naruto finished with his light training. Yes, that was light. There was some progress, but not as much as he would like, but still Konoha wasn't built overnight. He has time. He decided to go back to the village and visit Bakon, and see what she's doing, or visit some of his friends. Kakashi maybe? I haven't seen him since I returned. I wonder what that pervert's doing, thought Naruto. While he was jogging back to the village, he heard someone yell out in frustration, obviously displeased with something. The sound was coming from one of the nearby training grounds. The ever-nosy Naruto decided to investigate. When he arrived there he saw a young blonde yelling at a leaf in her hands. He heard only bits of what she was saying, like stupid, or why won't you work, or his favorite, bite me. He snickered a bit and laughed at her frustration, but decided to end her misery and help her out a bit. He jumped down from the tree and walked towards her. Hey Ino, yelled Naruto. Ino was still yelling at the leaf but stopped when she heard Naruto's voice. Naruto? What are you doing here? Are you following me? Teased Ino. You wish. Smirked Naruto. Ino pouted and turned away from his, faking hurt at his remark. Haha, you lost again, Ino, sorry. But seriously, I was training nearby and I was returning to the village and I heard you yell at someone or something in your case. Seriously, Ino, you've got a big set of lungs on you. I could hear you a mile away. You should use that and make your own personal jutsu like the screaming jutsu. Man, imagine that. That would certainly be ranked as an S-rank jutsu, laughed Naruto. Ino hit him over the head using a small amount of chakra in her fist, just enough for him to stop laughing. She tapped her foot in frustration and glared at him while he was trying to pick himself up from her haymaker. Now is not the time to be charming, Naruto. I'm losing my mind here. I've been doing this exercise for over an hour now and still nothing. It's like this damn leaf hates me or something, growled Ino. Naruto, who recovered from the smash from hell, said, maybe I can help. Just tell what you want to do and maybe I can give you a few pointers, offered Naruto. Really? You would do that? Questioned Ino, happy for his offer. Of course. I told you yesterday. If you need help with anything, just use your newly named screaming jutsu, and I'll come by running, said Naruto playfully. Shut up, idiot. I'm not that loud, said Ino while pouting, but I do need some help. This thing is bugging the hell out of me. I found that I have a water affinity, and found a book where it says that the first exercise is to try and soak a leaf. It said I need to be silent and deadly just like water to perform this exercise, whatever that means. I've been trying this for an hour now but still no progress. I'm considering venting out my anger on something but this leaf won't do. I need a live target for that, said Ino, who grinned evilly in the end while looking at Naruto to see a red dot on his forehead and target written over his head. Naruto saw her look and thought of a quick getaway. He decided to distract her for the time being by helping her. Hopefully her anger will fade away. I can help you with that, Ino, responded Naruto with haste. Ino perked up at his response, her anger forgotten for the moment. I've been in the same situation as you. I did this exercise while I was with the toads. Man, I must tell you, the exercise was a pain in the ass for me. It took quite some time to finish it, said Naruto, reminiscing about his training. Well? How did you do it? Don't make me wait, idiot, snapped Ino, desperately needing an answer. Alright, Ino, no need to blow a gasket. The elder toad told me in order to complete this exercise you need to think like water, be water. I was like, what? This earned a laughter from Ino. Yeah, that sounds like you, all muscle but no brains, quipped Ino. Yeah, moving on. As I was saying, you need to relax. The secret to this exercise is to remain calm and let the chakra flow through your body to your hand. Envelop the leaf, calm the leaf in a manner. When you do that, explode. Use all your chakra you can and speed up the process of enveloping the leaf. Here, let me show you. Naruto demonstrated her on how to do it. A second later, the leaf was drenched in water. Ino was astounded. What she was trying to do for the past hour was done in a second. Wow, he's good, thought Ino with a renewed vigor. Ino got to work. Naruto's voice was resonating in her head, guiding her. Okay, Ino, remain calm. Think of something peaceful, thought Ino. Images of Naruto's laughter and smile appeared in Ino's mind. Not that, idiot. Find something different. A clearing full of flowers came next. Ah, that's better, but then Naruto could be seen running towards her carrying flowers in his lap. Ino sighed internally. This is going to take a while. Naruto was watching her focus, trying hard to complete this hellish exercise. She looks cute when she's focusing, thought Naruto, but quickly shook those thoughts out of his mind. Bad Naruto berated Naruto himself. He saw that this is going to take a while, so he suggested to Ino that she takes a set near the lake to help her calm down, and at the same time find inspiration by listening to the sound of water. She nodded and they both took a set near the edge of the lake. Ino took a leaf into her hands again and restarted on the exercise. Naruto was bored. He couldn't look at Ino, because he would get certain images in his head, so he was looking around the area finding nothing of interest. He turned back towards the lake and got an idea. He smirked. He stood up silently and walked into the lake till he was knee-deep in the water. He prepared himself. Hey Ino, said Naruto with a hidden mirth. Ino opened her eyes and saw Naruto crouching with his hands in the water. He wouldn't, thought Ino, but he would. Naruto moved his hands and splashed water all over Ino's body. Ino yelled in surprise. How dare he? I'll show him, thought an angry Ino. Nobody messes with a Yamanak and gets away with it. She tackled him and they fell into the water with Ino on top of him. Underwater, Naruto could be seen smiling. His idea worked. Ino took the bait. Ino was also smiling. She didn't know why, but she couldn't stay mad at Naruto for long. They emerged a couple of moments later, still laughing. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But hey, it worked. You are more relaxed and calm now, right? Said Naruto through his laughter. Ino, who was laughing, had to admit he was right. This certainly helped with her tension. You are such an idiot, Naruto, but thank you. I do feel better now. But don't think you can do this every time, you know. Next time, there would be hell too. Grinned Ino. Naruto gulped and nodded furiously, not wanting to anger the blonde. Yes ma'am, saluted Naruto. Good, said Ino. Hold on, Ino, let me do something about our clothes, said Naruto. Ino didn't have time to ponder on his words. She was suddenly attacked by a small gust of warm wind which felt damn good in her opinion. A few moments later they were dry and warm. She thanked him for his help. With that she went back to work. Naruto took a seat by her side and watched her try to perform th exercise. They stayed like that for an hour, with Naruto giving Ino tips and Ino trying to soak the leaf. At the end of the training session, Ino managed to partially wet the leaf. It wasn't much, but it was progress. Ino thanked him for the help, saying she will pay him back somehow. No need, Ino. You've done enough in the last 2 days to last a lifetime. Responded Naruto with kind smile, showing appreciation for everything she's done for him. Ino smiled and just sat there for a while, striking a conversation. Ino wanted to use this opportunity to find out something about his parents. Naruto. What were your parents like? Questioned Ino in a humble tone, not wanting to bring out any bad memories. Naruto smiled and looked up at the sky. They were everything I could ever hope for in a parent. They were heroes in every sense of the word. They sacrificed their lives in order for me to live. They did it without hesitation, proving how much they loved me, said Naruto with a sad smile and a few tears escaping his eyes. Ino smiled at him and also shed a few tears at his story. She took his hand and squeezed it gently, showing her support and telling him it's okay. Naruto nodded in appreciation. So did that answer your question, Ino? Any closer on finding out who they are? Quipped Naruto with a grin on his face. Well, it's a start. I'm still nowhere close to finding out, but I've got time. I'll just follow the clues and solve the puzzle. No problem, exclaimed Ino. Good. I'm looking forward to next week, responded Naruto. Ino smiled and nodded. So, do you have any plans for the afternoon? Questioned Ino. Not really. I was thinking of visiting Kakashi. I haven't seen him since I returned. I want to see what he's been up to while I was gone, said Naruto. Oh. Well, usually he's at Karina's house in the morning helping with the baby, said Ino. Naruto raised an eyebrow, obviously surprised. Huh? You mean Kakashi, the pervert, spending time with Karini, the pervert hater? Said a surprised but amused Naruto. Haha, yeah? Ever since the war, Kakashi's been helping out with all the baby stuff. It's actually very sweet of him. I know Karini is very grateful for his help. And so am I. Karini needs all the help she can get. Being a single mother is a tough job. She needs some alone time for herself. Although I have suspicions about the two, they've been very comfortable with each other lately, said Ino with a narrowed gaze, in the end not liking the idea of not knowing something juicy. Man, Kakashi, a babysitter. How about that? Smirked Naruto. What about his reading habits? I'm pretty sure Karini doesn't like the idea of a pervert being near her baby? Questioned an interested Naruto. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. She took care of that early on. You should have seen Kakashi's punishment when he walked in one day with his book in his hands while the baby was in Karini's hands. She used the yaoi genjutsu on him. Kakashi didn't stop twitching for a week. After that he only reads that stuff when he is alone and nowhere near Karini, answered an amused Ino, who could barely contain her laughter while remembering that particular event. Naruto joined her. He could already see the scene playing in his head. Man, I wish I'd been there to see that, thought Naruto, clearly amused at Kakashi's situation. If you want, we can go there together. I wanted to visit Karini for a while now. You should see her son. It's the cutest little thing. He looks just like his father. Smiled Ino. Man, you must really like the little bugger, remarked Naruto with a smile. I do. And you will too, trust me. Just one laugh from him, and you will be his slave forever. Winked Ino. Naruto laughed. Alright, lead the way to my new master, teased Naruto. They walked back towards the village and towards Karini's house while chatting about random things that happened during the 2 years that he was gone. Ino tried to gain additional information about his parents, but Naruto wouldn't give any conclusive answers. Karini's house. Karini was in the process of making a late breakfast. She had the luxury to sleep in a bit today courtesy of her now regular guest Hatake Kakashi. Some would wonder what is an A-class ninja doing at 10 a.m. in the morning taking care of some kid that isn't even his own. And so did Karini, frankly. The change happened so fast. One day we are nothing more than acquaintances, the next he's volunteering to watch little Asuma. Mused Karini. It must be the war. This was his second. Perhaps he realized something during the war, thought Karini, but she decided not to squander this gift from the heavens, and just go with the flow. She liked his company. When he is with her and Asuma Jr., it's like he's a different person. He is no longer the ninja that strikes fear into the enemy's hearts, but a thoughtful friend. In the last 2 years or so she got to meet the real Kakashi. Kakashi who went through 2 wars, who lost both of his teammates and his sensei. Kakashi who lost his father at an early age. And she has to admit, she likes this Kakashi. She found out that he can be quite loving, kind and sincere when he wants to be. They spend a lot of time together actually. They had lunch together regularly, and sometimes even dinner. Breakfast was a regular thing. She can't even remember when he wasn't over for breakfast. And those late night walks around the village, sighed Karini dreamily. Wow, don't go down that lane, Karini, thought Karini to herself. Can't start dreaming about Kakashi now, can we? Right, thought and unsure Karini. To be honest with herself, she wouldn't mind going out with Kakashi. She likes his company, he's thoughtful, great with Asuma Jr., he makes her laugh. What more could she possibly want? Karini sighed. I need a second opinion, thought Karini. She was woken up from her thinking by a knock on the door. I wonder who that is, thought Karini. She went to open door, passing by Kakashi who was keeping little Asuma company, and playing with him with some cubes. Karini opened the door and saw twins. Seriously, they look so much alike. What a surprise. I haven't seen you in a while, said a surprised Karini, while in the process of hugging Ino. Yeah, sorry about that. Work was killing me. I had to work double shifts because some staff members took vacations. But it's over now, so I decided to visit my favorite nephew, smiled Ino. Karini smiled and nodded. She looked towards Ino's twin brother, who was just standing there with a happy smile on his face. As soon as she saw those whisker marks on his face, everything clicked in her mind. Naruto yelled Karini, who gave him a small hug. You've returned. About time if you asked me. This village was lost without you, remarked Karini with a small smile. Hi Karini-sensei. Long time no see. Looking good, by the way, winked Naruto playfully. Karini nodded in appreciation, thankful that he noticed she got rid of the baby fat. Alright already? Enough with the flirting. I want my Asuma dosage, right now, said Ino. Karini just laughed a little and shrugged their shoulders and proceeded to enter the house. They walked into the living room, where they saw a laughing Asuma Jr. and a happy Kakashi, who was holding some cubes in his hands. The trio smiled at the scene, Karini more so than the other two. Ino noticed her smile. Her suspicions were proving to be right on target. She would have to talk with her later about their relationship. Kakashi finally noticed the additional company and turned around to come face to face with the smiling Karini, Ino and Naruto. Wait, Naruto, thought a surprised Kakashi. Naruto, you're back, said a very happy and surprised Kakashi. Kakashi gave him one of his eye smiles to show him how happy he is to see him favorite student again. Hey Kakashi-sensei. It's been too long. But you've certainly been busy, quipped Naruto while sending a look towards Karini and the baby. Kakashi scratched his head and I smiled. That was everything Naruto needed. He understood perfectly. Asuma Jr., who was looking towards the new arrivals, recognized his favorite auntie. Auntie, yelled Asuma Jr. in delight, who jumped into Ino's arms and hugged her. Hey there Asuma. Missed me? I certainly missed you. Have you been good while I was away? Did you listen to your mother and Kakashi? Questioned Ino in a playful manner while untangling Asuma of her body and put him on solid ground again. Asuma nodded with a big smile, happy to see Auntie Ino again. Asuma turned towards the other blonde guest who was watching the interaction with a happy smile. Asuma pointed towards Naruto and asked, Who's that, Auntie? Your boy, asked Asuma, who was struggling with the last word. Karini decided to help him. Boyfriend, Asuma. Is that you wanted to say? Helped Karini. Asuma nodded, which caused the blondes to blush at the boy's remark. Seriously, everywhere I go it's always the same question. Do you have Ino written on my forehead or what? Said a blushing Naruto. Ino nodded in understanding and answered Asuma's question. No Asuma, this is not my boyfriend. This is my friend Naruto. He's a ninja like your mother and Kakashi. He's really strong, said Ino, who got rid of her blush while talking to Asuma Jr. Cool. Do you know any jutsu? Can you show me some? Said Asuma Jr. bouncing in delight, and with stars in his eyes. Naruto laughed at his happy expression. He reminded of him. Always full of energy and wanting to see cool jutsus. Yes, I know a couple. I'll show them to you some other time, but only if you will be good and do whatever your mommy says. Okay? Answered Naruto while smiling towards Asuma Jr., who calmed down a bit. But not by much, I promise. I'll even eat all my vegetables, answered Asuma. Ino, Kakashi and Karini smiled at the two. They couldn't help but notice how good Naruto is with little Asuma. It's like he has this aura around him that seems to calm and relax everybody around him. Then again, this is the man who befriended all the Kages and so many other things. Naruto, would you and Kakashi mind watching Asuma for a bit while me and Ino finish making breakfast? You are welcome to join us, of course, asked Karini. Naruto nodded, seeing no problem with her request. He liked the little gaki. It's no wonder Ino likes him so much, he's just so likable, mused Naruto. Karini nodded in appreciation. With that, the two ladies left the room to finish up breakfast. When Karini arrived in the kitchen, she immediately turned around and asked the question that's been plaguing her mind. Alright, talk. You two look very comfortable near each other. And I saw the blush. Don't try to avoid the question. Now speak, said Karini while giving a stern look, obviously wanting some information. Sheesh, talk about sneak attack. What's up with people obsessing about me and Naruto? He's right, it's like our bodies are saying that we are dating or something. But to answer your question, there is nothing between us. We met yesterday at the Memorial Stone, we talked, had lunch, laughed, then had dinner with the rest of the rookies, and he walked me home after that. We met again in the morning, when he helped me with my training. We talked some more after that, and now we're here, answered Ino, who was panting after that long explanation. In the other room, Naruto was in the situation. He was currently being interrogated by Kakashi, who saw the same thing as Karini. Karini wasn't completely satisfied with her answer. And? There is still something between you. I can feel it. How do you feel about him? Asked Karini, not wanting to drop the subject. Man, you won't let this go, huh? Alright, I admit, I do feel something towards him, but I don't know what it is yet. It could just be friendship or could be something more, I don't know yet. He's just so kind and considerate. He always takes the extra mile just to make you happy, and the best part, he doesn't want anything in return. I mean, for the love of God, he saved this village on countless occasions, he saved the world and he's still so humble. Nobody could be that perfect, seriously. Answered Ino honestly. Karini nodded, finally happy with Ino's answer. I thought you felt like that. I could see it in your eyes. There was a small twinkle every time you looked at Naruto. I'm happy for you, Ino. It may not be love yet, but you are getting there. Just spend some more time with him and get to know him more and you'll get your answer. Said Karini with a kind smile. Yeah, about knowing him more. We are actually playing a little game. You see, he found out who his parents are and he won't tell me. He gave me a week to find out the identity of at least one of them. If I win, I get to learn one of his techniques, and if I lose he gets something he wants. Said Ino. Karini nodded, indicating that she's still following her. So what I need from you is information. Do you happen to know who his parents were? I know they were heroes, at least to Naruto. They sacrificed their lives to save Naruto, but that's it. It's not enough to solve the puzzle. Raged Ino. Sorry, can't help you with that. I always thought he was just an orphan who was born at the wrong time. I think Kakashi might know more, if not the whole truth. Wait here, I'll go get him. Said a retreating Karini. A few moments later Kakashi walked in with a nice smile on his face. You wanted to talk to me about something, Ino? Said Kakashi. Yes. I was hoping to talk to you about Naruto's parents. Said Ino, surprising Kakashi a bit, not expecting that question. Now, why do you want to know about that? Questioned Kakashi, who turned very serious. Ino proceeded to explain Kakashi about the whole bet with Naruto. Kakashi nodded, liking the answer. He will tell her something, but not much, just enough to help her along. If Naruto thinks she deserves to know the truth, then so be it. Well, actually I do know who they were, but it's not my place to tell you. That is Naruto's choice and not mine. But I can give you some clues to help you along. I smiled Kakashi. Ino was a bit saddened to hear the first part of the answer, but contented herself with minor clues. Well, here goes, pay attention. His father had blonde hair and was born in this village. His mother had red hair and was from a different village and from a prominent clan. Answered Kakashi, who decided to end it there, not wanting to give out too much information. Ino was seen in deep thought, contemplating if she knew anybody that fit that description. She came out empty. It's still a work in progress. I'll ask around a bit or visit the register center to see if there are any Uzumakis in the village. Thought Ino. Ino thanked Kakashi for his help. Kakashi said it was no problem, anything for Naruto's future girlfriend. Ino glared at him for that last remark, a small blush on her cheeks. Kakashi smiled with his one visible eye and went back to the living room. Karini returned a bit later, wanting to finally finish breakfast. A couple of minutes later, the company could be seen eating breakfast while conversing with each other. If anybody saw them right now, they would see a picture of a loving family. They laughed, smiled, and just enjoy life. This is what a ninja family looks like. After the meal, Ino and Naruto said their goodbyes, while telling Asuma Jr. they would visit him tomorrow again. The blondes could be seen walking towards Yamanaka flower shop. Ino is helping her mom around the shop today, and Naruto, the gentleman, escorted her. They stopped in front of the shop's door. Thanks for the company, Naruto, and thanks for the help with my training. Said Ino thankfully. Anytime, Ino. Listen, I've been meaning to ask you something. Said Naruto, who was slightly nervous. Ino waited for his answer, intrigued what has him so worked up. Would you like to go out tonight, as friends of course? I want to hear all the juicy details about the stuff that's been happening around the village, and who better to ask than the gossip queen of Konoha, said Naruto a bit shyly. Ino disregarded that remark about the gossip queen, but instead focused on the real matter, the date. Is he asking me out? Thought Ino. Are you asking me on a date, Naruto? Asked Ino, who was hoping it was. If you want it to be, then yes. I'm asking you on a date. Answered a smiling Naruto. I would love to. Who know, I might have some fun. It can't hurt to try, right? Smiled Ino. Great. I'll pick you up at Ino. He gave her a slight peck on the cheek and ran away after that. Ino blushed, loving the feeling of Naruto's lips on her cheeks. She went inside the shop to see her mom behind the counter with an annoying smirk on her face. Ino sighed, knowing what is to come next. This is going to be a long day, and that's a wrap. I decided to end it here. I hope I'm improving with my writing, so please tell me what am I doing wrong so that I can correct in the future. Anyway, see you in a couple of days. Naruto could be seen walking down the street from the Yamanaka shop. He has what people would describe as a victory smile on his face. And what did he won, you say? Money? No. Promotion? No. Let me help you out a bit. He won a date with one of the most beautiful women in Konoha, if not on the entire continent. Yep, definitely a good reason to be happy. Some would also wonder what made him do it. Why did he make such a bold move? What if it doesn't work out? That could ruin their friendship. Is it worth it? Naruto thought back to his conversation with his sensei, Kakashi. A single phrase was running through his mind. This is what his sensei told him. Life's short, Naruto. Cherish it while you can. Said the copy ninja. Naruto took his advice to heart. Until now Naruto took everything for granted. But you never know what might happen, even he isn't invincible, so he decided to take a leap of faith. He only hopes everything will turn out great. So do I, Naruto, so do I, thought the narrator, only time will tell. He will do everything he can to find his happiness. Naruto was breaking out of his musing when he heard his name being called. Naruto-nikin, is that you? Boss, is that really you? Konohamaru's voice could be heard on the street. Naruto turned towards the voice and saw Konohamaru with a smile on his face. Konohamaru changed over the 2 years. He grew quite a lot. He probably reached up to Naruto's chin now. He also gained some muscles. He still wore that ridiculous scarf around his neck. Seriously, what's up with that? Naruto was beaming, happy to see his protege again. Konohamaru gave Naruto a small hug, but don't worry, it was a manly hug. They had unshed tears of joy in their eyes. It has been too long for these two. Kono, hey buddy, how you've been? Said Naruto with a smile reserved for his friend. Don't you buddy me. Where were you? You just disappeared on us. I really missed you, we all did. Said Konohamaru, who really missed his boss. Naruto scratched his head in embarrassment, which he was doing a lot lately. He told Konohamaru everything, where he was, what he did, the whole shebang. Konohamaru understood. Naruto wanted to follow in his master's footsteps, he would have done the same thing in his shoes. As long as he's happy, so is he. So what have you been up to? I've heard some interesting things. Smirked Naruto. Konohamaru didn't like that look, it meant he will be teased later. But there's nothing he can't do right now, he will deal with it later. Well, I actually made Chunin last year. I won the whole tournament, you should have seen me. I wiped the floor with the competition. You should have seen their faces when I used the Rasengan in the finals, you would be laughing your ear off. Laughed a proud Konohamaru. Naruto gave him a proud smile and ruffled his hair, like a proud brother would. That's great, Kono. I'm proud of you. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I promise I'll be there when you turn jounin. I'll need to give you a gift for the promotion. Which one do you want, lunch or a new jutsu? Asked Naruto, who already knew the answer to that question. That's a tough one. Bah, who am I kidding, jutsu it is. Answered a delighted Konohamaru. I thought so. If you want I could show it to you right now, I've got some time. Said Naruto. That's great. I'm free right now, let's go. There's a training ground nearby. Said Konohamaru, who was all giddy. Just as they were about to leave, they were stopped by a new voice, but this time Konohamaru's name was called. Konohamaru. Wait up. Yelled the running Udan. Behind him was Hyuga Hanabi, who looked irritated for some reason. Hey guys. What's up? Said Konohamaru nonchalantly. Don't pretend you don't, what's going on? You ditched us while we were talking, you idiot. That was so impolite. Said an angry Hanabi. The 2 years were great for the young Hyuga. She turned into a fine young lady. She's a bit shorter than Konohamaru, and has a figure that rivals her sister. Shit, sorry about that. I thought I saw someone I know, so I bailed. Sorry. But hey, it was worth it. Look who I found. Konohamaru pointed at Naruto. Udan smiled at who he saw. His boss was back. Things will finally return to normal. Boss, you're back. We missed you. Said Udan, also smiling at his longtime friend. Udan changed the most out of the three. He was no longer the brat who had boogers sticking out of his nose. He is as tall as Konohamaru and just as lean as he. He definitely looks like a ninja now, mused Naruto. Naruto greeted him back and told him he missed him too. He turned his attention to the young Hyuga girl who was looking back at him with respect. She obviously heard of all his achievements. She bowed and said, hello Naruto-sama, nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. Said Hanabi politely. Naruto smiled at her. Konohamaru decided to say something. Hey. What did I tell you about all that politeness crap? This is Naruto, you can act normally around him. You don't need all that Hyuga attitude around him. Just say whatever comes to your mind. Ranted Konohamaru. Hanabi glared at him, and they started to argue. Hanabi said that Naruto was a hero and deserves to be respected, while Konohamaru said that he doesn't like all that formal crap and rules. Udan just sighed at their bickering. He was used to them by now. Naruto laughed, which caused the two to stop bickering. They blushed in embarrassment. Haha, Niji was right. You two are perfect for each other. This caused the two to blush even more and turn away from each other, to hide their embarrassment. But Konohamaru is right, Hanabi. You don't have to be so formal around me. I'm no different than you, so don't treat me differently. Just be Hanabi and not Hyuga Hanabi, if you know what I mean. Remarked Naruto. Hanabi nodded and said she'll try. That was good enough for Naruto. Konohamaru told them that he and Naruto are going training and that they are welcome to join them. They declined, saying that they had other obligations. They said their goodbyes and went on their way. Konohamaru and Naruto made some small talk while they were walking. Naruto found out that Moegi joined the medical corps. She joins them on missions, which makes their team the only team in Konoha with 5 members, including their sensei Ebisu. They spend an hour or so training. Naruto showed him how to do Udama Rasengan. Konohamaru realized that this version of the Rasengan is on a whole other level than the normal Rasengan. Suffice to say, It's going to take a while to perfect it. Meanwhile, Ino just finished her shift from hell. Normally working at her family's flower shop tends to be relaxing, but not today. Today that relaxation was replaced with her mother's teasing. Ino has never been so exhausted in her life. Mom can be such a pain sometimes. I just hope she doesn't tell Dad. Knowing him, he'll probably flip out if he hears I'm going on a date, thought an exhausted Ino. But hopefully her next destination will cheer her up. You see, she's moving towards the registry center. She is hoping to find some clues about Naruto's family, or at least someone with the last name Uzumaki. It's a long shot, but it can't hurt to try. After a couple of minutes she was in front of the building. It was quite huge. Probably one of the biggest buildings in Konoha, as it should be. A lot of information is stored here and hopefully Naruto's heritage is among them. She entered the building and walked towards the reception. Behind it stood an elderly woman, way past her retirement. Hello, young lady. How can I help you? Asked the old lady nicely. Hello? I'm looking for someone. I was wondering if you have any Uzumakis in your database. Asked Ino. Uzumaki, huh? That's a name you don't hear very often, except for that young fellow, Naruto. I think his name was. Let me take a look. It will take just a second, responded the nice old lady. You could hear the woman typing something in her computer repeatedly. Even in her old age she is thoroughly dedicated to her work, as is shown on her face and attitude. There are some hits. There are 3 registered Uzumakis in our database. One of them is Naruto Uzumaki, still living. The next one is Mito Uzumaki, who was surprisingly the first Hokage's wife. And the last one is Uzumaki Kushina. Responded the lady. Mito is definitely out, she's too old to be Naruto's mother. This Kushina sounds interesting. Thought Ino. Can I look at Uzumaki Kushina's file, please? Asked Ino politely. Sure thing, dear. Just a second. Answered the lady, who tried to click on her file but was classified and said Hokage's eyes only. That's strange. I have never seen something like this. Said a confused lady. What? What happened? Asked an interested Ino. It seems the file on Uzumaki Kushina is classified and can only be opened by the current Hokage. Said the lady, who was in deep thought. Hold on, let me try something. Let me try accessing the other 2 files. Said the lady. It had the same result. Truly interesting, thought the lady. Remarkable. It is the same for the other 2. Everything about the Uzumakis is classified. Young lady, whatever you are looking for must be something truly interesting or something truly frightening and dangerous. Remarked the perplexed lady. Naruto. What are you hiding? Just who are you? Thought Ino, who was losing hope of ever finding the truth. I see. Well, thank you anyway. I'll look somewhere else. I'm grateful for your help. Said Ino with a slight bow. She bid the lady farewell and went on her way. Damn, still nowhere close to finding the truth. I'm running out of ideas. Tsunade is probably a dead end. She won't divulge classified information, especially about Naruto. I'll have to try the people who were in contact with Naruto. This means Gai-sensei. She shudders, not looking forward to that meeting. Next Yamato Taishu, Sai, the rest of the rookies, and perhaps Shizen-sensei. Thought Ino. I'll worry about that later. I need to prepare for our date tonight. Can't be late on our first date, now can I? Said Ino, who started running back home to prepare for her date. Later that evening, Naruto was walking towards Ino's house with flowers in his hands. He chose her favorites, purple irises. He wore an elegant black shirt with some golden lining and matching pants. He left his protector at home since he won't be needing it tonight. He was definitely nervous. This is his first official date with another woman. So many things could go wrong. What if he does something stupid? Knowing himself, he probably will. Stop squirming, you're making me dizzy, yelled an annoyed Kurama. Shut up, I'm nervous, okay? It's not every day I get to take Ino on a date. Cut me some slack here. Responded Naruto in equal measure. I don't care. Just stop moving around so much. I need to get my sleep. Growled Kurama. Yeah? All you care about is your sleep. Well, I don't. So shut up. Bellowed Naruto. Kurama grunted. Why should he care about his host's personal life? Maybe perhaps, whoever Naruto chooses to be his girlfriend, he will have to listen to her every single day, so it would be in their best interest for him to choose wisely. Look, kid. You like her, don't you? And she probably likes you. Now, I may not understand a lot about human relationship, but I watched your mother her whole life. I noticed a thing or two. You are a lot like her. So do what she did. I think she once said go with the flow. It worked for her, it might work for you, said Kurama, who gave his first advice in his long life. Naruto was shocked to death. Did you just give me advice like a human would? Asked the stunned Naruto. Shut up. I'm going back to sleep. Growled Kurama, who was a bit embarrassed but also happy for his host. Hee, you are such a spoiled sport. But thanks. I owe you one. Said Naruto sincerely. Kurama just grumbled and went back to sleep. Naruto smiled at his lifetime companion. He was grateful for his help. It did wonders for his nervousness. It was still there, but he knew he can deal with anything that will come his way. At least he hopes so. After a couple of turns, he found himself in front of Ino's house. He knocked and gulped. This is it, thought Naruto. The door opened, but it wasn't Ino who opened it. It was someone far worse. The protector, the guardian, the interrogator, the mind walker, Yamanaka Inoichi. Not him. Why him? Thought a frightened Naruto. Inoichi gave him an appraising look which made Naruto even more nervous and scared. After a few moments of silence, Inoichi relented and gave him a small smile. Naruto wasn't entirely convinced by that smile. Hello, Naruto. Here for Ino? Asked Inoichi. Naruto nodded, not trusting his words that might come out his mouth. Relax, kid. I'm not going to bite you much, said Ino with emphasis on much. Naruto let out the breath he was holding in but still remained on guard. You never know what might happen with overprotective fathers. Inoichi invited him in where he could wait for Ino to get finished. They made some small talk while they were waiting. Ino's mom also joined them and introduced herself while offering him some coffee. Naruto thanked her and gave her a small compliment about her looks which she appreciated. Inoichi decided to speak up about something. Naruto, said Inoichi. Naruto turned towards him. I wanted to thank you, said Inoichi in a humble tone. Naruto was confused. What for? I don't remember doing something for you, answered Naruto, who wasn't sure what the topic of the conversation is. I wanted to thank you for not listening to me during Pain's invasion. I let my emotions take over. I didn't have faith in you and I'm sorry for that, humbly said Inoichi. Ino's mom, Inora, smiled at Inoichi. This is the man she fell in love with. A humble, caring man who would do anything for his family. You don't have to thank me for that. You did what you had to. I understood you perfectly back then. I was in the same situation as you. I was so angry at Pain, at Akatsuki, I wanted to kill them all. But then I remembered Erosenin's words from our training. He told me hate and revenge is not the right way to take in life. Forgiveness is. If anything, we should both thank him, said Naruto, who smiled at the older man. Inoichi nodded, grateful for everything the young man has done. Naruto, take good care of my little daughter. She means the world to me, said Inoichi in a fatherly tone. Inora smiled and took Inoichi's hand and leaned on his shoulder. Naruto smiled at their love, also wanting that kind of happiness. They were interrupted by the sound of someone clearing their throats. Daddy, I hope you weren't pestering Naruto. I can take care of myself, you know, said Ino, who finished dressing. And my God, was she a sight for sore eyes? Naruto was beyond stunned. I think his heart skipped a beat. He just stood there watching the blonde goddess of his dreams. Ino wore a beautiful purple dress that went down to her ankles. The dress showed quite a lot of cleavage, but in a tasteful manner. She wore purple heels that fitted with the dress perfectly. She also wore the earrings Asuma gave them when they passed the Genin exams. Beautiful, whispered Naruto. He was at a loss of words. The ball of energy, the prankster from hell, was for the first time stunned speechless. He couldn't form a single sentence. But that one word was enough for Ino. She blushed at his compliment, liking his reaction very much so. Thank you, Naruto. You don't look bad yourself, winked Ino. Naruto scratched his head like always when he's embarrassed or nervous. He offered her his hand. Shall we, gorgeous? Said Naruto. Ino blushed at his compliment, and took his hand, and they started walking towards the exit. Inoichi and Inora smiled at the young couple. They had the same thoughts running through their heads. They looked just like us when we were younger, thought the parents. Well, there was one more thought running through Inora's mind. Babies, lots of babies, screamed Inora in her mind. When they were outside, Ino asked Naruto where they were going. It's a surprise, he answered. Ino pouted, not wanting to be left in the dark. He asked her to close her eyes for a moment. Ino gave him a stern look. Don't worry. I won't do anything you won't like, trust me, said Naruto. Ino complied and closed her eyes. She's so beautiful, thought Naruto, who was looking at Ino while she was trying to keep her eyes closed. He embraced her, and they disappeared in a shunshin and reappeared on top of the Hokage mountain, specifically on top of Yandame's head. You can open your eyes now, Ino, said Naruto, who was anxious to see her reaction. When Ino opened her eyes, she was met with the most beautiful sight she had ever seen. The sun was disappearing behind the horizon, enveloping Konoha with its light for the last time today. The image was out of a fairy tale. You could see all the different colors merging, forming a beautiful sight for all to behold if they bothered to look up. She moved her gaze towards the spot they were standing on. And she was surprised once more. On the Yandame's head was a table for two, with scented candles on it, and their dinner. All around her were her favorite flowers, purple irises. This was Naruto's symbol of how much he cares. He went through all this trouble for me, for our first date. He's such a good guy, thought a teary Ino. No one has ever done something like this for her before. Naruto, this is amazing. You didn't have to all this just for me. I would be perfectly happy with a normal dinner, said a now smiling Ino, who had tears in her eyes. Naruto took her hand and guided her towards the table, while giving her his warmest smile. It was no problem. You deserve it. I would do anything to see you smile, like you are now, said Naruto warmly. Ino couldn't help it. One tear escaped her eyes. But she composed herself. She didn't want to ruin their first date. Thank you, Naruto, This means a lot to me. More than you know, said Ino, who was now sitting across from Naruto. They enjoyed their meal in silence, taking glances at each other occasionally and smiling to each other the whole time. They finished their meals after a while. Naruto served dessert, which was Ino's favorite, cherry blossom pudding. She asked him how did he know this was her favorite. He responded by saying that he remembers seeing her eat it a couple of years back while drooling. He laughed and Ino pouted after that last word. But she couldn't hold that pout for long. The fact that he remembered her favorite dessert by only seeing her eat it once was beyond thoughtful. You know, I was actually really surprised when you accepted my invitation. I would have thought you were taken already. I mean, you must have the whole male population after you. Smirked Naruto. Yeah, and 99% of them are pigs. Seriously, all they see in me is a trophy to brag about to their friends. Every time the girls and I go out there is always a group of guys that try to get into our pants. It's disgusting. You should see how they look at us. We are not women to them, just a piece of meat to use and then discard after you grow tired of it. Responded Ino in an angry tone. Naruto gave her a reassuring smile. Well, you are definitely not some piece of meat. You are a dear friend. You are loud, bossy, described Naruto. Ino sent him a glare at his description of her. Naruto continued, but you are also kind, loving, thoughtful, a dear friend and the most beautiful person I have ever seen. Said Naruto, blushing at his last statement. And so did Ino. She had no idea Naruto had such a good opinion of her. Truly a magnificent guy, Ino sighed. I wish more men were like you. Seriously, you should see this one guy. He came up to me about 2 months ago and said he wants me as his second wife. You can imagine my response. I told him to get out of my face and to never show his face around here again. As a sign of my seriousness, I kicked him in his jewels. Winked Ino towards the end but was obviously disgusted with how the guy acted. Naruto winced at the image of being kicked in the nuts by Ino. The guy deserved it. He's probably some noble dude who thinks he can get anything he wants. Perhaps you kicking him in the balls will serve him some good, show him some humility. Said Naruto. Ino shook her head. No, sadly he didn't learn anything. About a week after that, he approached my father. He demanded from him that he arrange a marriage between us. Father got so angry he was 1 second away from frying his mind. If it wasn't for Chuza, he would have. The pig said that he will have me one way or another. Father threatened him that if he ever does something to me he will personally kill him, and everyone of his kin. Said Ino, who took a short break to catch her breath. But not even that worked. I still see him lurking around the hospital and looking at me. It sends shivers up my spine every time I see his look. Responded Ino, who felt powerless to do anything to stop this. Naruto took hold of her hand and gave a reassuring squeeze. He moved closer to her and slung a hand over her shoulder in a sign of support. Ino leaned into his shoulder, and they stayed like that for a few minutes. Don't worry. I'm here. If that pig tries to do something, tell me. I know you don't need protection, but you are a ninja of Konoha and you can't attack a civilian. But I can. Being a sage has certain perks. The civilian court has no power over me. Only the Hokage can punish me, and I'm pretty sure Bakun wouldn't mind if I put a certain pig in a hospital for attacking her ninja. Remarked Naruto. Ino was grateful for his words and for saying that she isn't a weak little girl. She leaned closer to him, and just enjoyed his warmth for a while. She shivered a bit from the cold which Naruto noticed. He used a bit of chakra to keep her warm. She thanked him. Naruto, why did you bring us here for our first date? Asked Ino. Naruto smiled. This place has a special meaning for me. As you probably know, I wasn't very popular when I was younger. This was one of the few places where I wasn't glared or spit at. This is my sanctuary. Also Yondaime is my hero, my idol, the man I want to surpass, answered Naruto truthfully. Do you hate the fourth for what he did for you? Asked Ino carefully. Naruto laughed a bit. No, I don't. I did always wonder why he chose me. There were plenty of other choices beside me. I know now why he did. Responded Naruto. And why did he? Asked Ino, who truly wanted to know the answer to that question. He told he believed in me. Responded Naruto with the biggest smile, while the wind ruffled his hair. Ino was confused. How would Naruto know that he believed in him? The fourth died the day Naruto was born, so he couldn't know that. What's up with Naruto and his secrets? Thought Ino. How can you know that? He died the day you were born. You couldn't know what he thought, said Ino. I met him and he told me. Answered Naruto, which confused and shocked Ino even further. What? How? That's impossible, he's dead. Said Ino. Slow down, Ino. Let me explain. But you've got to promise me that this stays between you and me. Very few people know this. Said Naruto in a serious tone. Ino nodded and waited for Naruto to continue. Naruto sighed and continued. It was during the Akatsuki's invasion after I used Kyuubi's power. Pain asked me how would I achieve peace. I didn't know the answer. I was littered with doubts about myself, my power, my belief. He said that he will use Kyuubi's power to bring peace. He was just about to take me but Hinata intervened. She got injured and I tapped into Kyuubi's power. After that everything is pretty much a blur until I wanted to rip the seal from Kyuubi's cage, freeing him. Someone stopped me, said Naruto, who paused for a bit to let the information sink in. Ino nodded, signifying she was still following, although barely. This was surreal. That person was the fourth Hokage, said Naruto. Ino couldn't believe what she just heard. The fourth appeared inside Naruto's mind and prevented him from freeing the fox. He told her the rest of the story, leaving out the part about the fourth being his father. He wanted her to find out that herself. He repaired my seal and told me he believed in me. Finished Naruto. Ino just looked at him with wide eyes. It's not every day you hear something like this. Naruto laughed at her expression, which woke Ino. She smacked him on the arm while smiling. They stayed like that, just enjoying each other's company and looking at Konoha. Ino sighed. This was everything she ever wanted, but she always thought Sasuke would provide her with this kind of scenes. In a way she's glad she got to see the real Sasuke on that fateful day on that battlefield, because if she didn't she probably wouldn't be here right now. She wouldn't be this close to Naruto, and she would miss out on all the fun she had with Naruto in the last 2 days. Naruto woke her from her thoughts. It's getting late, beautiful. Don't want your dad to come after me, now do we? Quipped Naruto, who stood up with Ino following him. She nodded and they shined back to her house. I had a great time tonight, Ino, said a smiling and nervous Naruto. Me too, Naruto. I want to thank you for me giving the best date of my life and for sharing that secret with me. It really means a lot for you to trust me with such a secret, said Ino. You don't have to thank me, I would trust you with my life. Beamed Naruto. If you are interested I would love to take you to another date, said Naruto nervously. Ino giggled at his shyness but told him she would love to go out with him again. Naruto beamed at her answer. He gave her a quick peck on her cheek and tucked her favorite flower behind her ear. Bye, Ino. I'll see you tomorrow, said Naruto, who was walking away from her. Ino, slightly surprised, just gave him a small wave while holding a hand on her cheek. She smiled after she processed what just happened and looked forward to their next meeting. She went inside her house while cradling the flower he tucked behind her ear. She went to her room and placed the flower in the vase on her nightstand and just looked at it for a few minutes, smiling and remembering her romantic date. Ino went to bed with a happy smile on her face and couldn't wait to see what happens next. One thing was certain, being around Naruto is never boring. With that she retired for the night. What Naruto and Ino didn't notice was a figure lurking in the shadows. I need to report this to the boss, thought the figure while disappearing into the shadows. Unknown place. Sir, reporting in? Said a voice from the shadows. Speak, said a grim voice. As per your request I was observing the Yamanaka residence. Everything was normal since I stationed myself there, until last night, that is, said the shadow in a professional voice. And? What happened? Asked the voice of the leader. Yamanaka Ino was seen in the company of another male whose identity I couldn't ascertain. They seemed to have been on a date, judging by the way they dressed and acted. The young male came around 8 o'clock to the Yamanaka residence, where he was invited in by Yamanaka Inoichi. He emerged from the household 10 minutes later with Yamanaka Ino. Next they used Shenshin to go somewhere. Where? I don't know, since I couldn't follow them. I stayed there for the night and saw them return together, sir, said the shadow. The man in charge wasn't pleased with his spy's news. His target, Yamanaka Ino, his future wife, is seeing someone else, complicating things even further than they were. No, the man was definitely not pleased with this information. This certainly complicates things. But no matter, the plans will just have to be altered a bit. Maybe we can use this unknown man to our benefit, mused the man, who could barely contain his anger at the news. What are my orders, sir? Asked the shadow, who was waiting patiently for his master. You are to cease observing the Yamanaka residence. I have a mission for you. Whoever this intruder is, he is probably a ninja. Yamanaka Ino wouldn't go out with a weakling, a normal civilian, that much I know. If by some off chance he decides to interfere with my plans, we will need more muscle, said the man in a professional tone. I see. What shall you have me do, sir? Asked the shadow. The spy was no fool. He was great at staying hidden, but an all-out fight against a ninja would be suicide for him. You are to contact any mercenary ninja you can find. Offer them whatever they want in exchange for their services. You have by the end of the week. My plan starts then. Understood? Ordered the leader. Understood, sir. But if I may be so bold, why are you so interested in the young Yamanaka? Asked the spy, carefully, not wanting to anger the more powerful man. Fair question, but believe you can be trusted with this information. You know what will happen to you if you betray my trust, said the leader in a dangerous tone. The spy nodded, fully aware what would happen to him if he betrayed his master. You see, my family was once very powerful and rich. We were one of the leading merchant families in the Fire Nation. We had ties with the daimyo himself, so powerful were we. It all went downhill when my father was in charge of our family. You see, he was searching for a wife, but not just any wife. No, my father was a very picky man. He wouldn't marry an ordinary woman, no matter how beautiful she might be, described the man. The man paused. He seemed deep in thought, probably remembering something. He continued after this short break. And he found her, right here in Konoha. He told me that she was his chosen one, his leading lady. He said that it wasn't her beauty that captured his attention, even though she was supposed to be one of the most beautiful women in Konoha at that time. No, it was her temper. She wasn't like any other women, she talked back, fought back. She even refused my father's offer to become his wife and embarrassed him in front of her friends, and I think that was the deciding thing for my father. No one refused my father, no one. Even the daimyo of the Fire Nation would think twice before refusing my father, boasted the now grinning man, clearly proud of his family and father. My father used all his tricks to try and persuade this woman. But there was one problem. Not many people knew this, but this woman was already engaged, and to the fourth Hokage no less. Everything about their engagement was kept quiet, fearing the fourth Hokage's enemies. My father used a lot of money to procure this information. I found out through his journal he kept. Everyone knew who the fourth was, someone not to be trifled with, as he demonstrated in the Third Shinobi War. But my father didn't back down. He tried everything to win her over, but nothing worked. In one last desperate attempt, he kidnapped her. He hired a bunch of missing ninjas and ordered them to kidnap her. Yes, so great was his obsession with this woman. He would go so far as to abduct her. And that's when everything collapsed on my father, explained the man. What happened, if I may ask? Said the spy. The fourth Hokage happened, that's what happened. My father found out why he was considered the strongest man alive. He tracked the ninjas back to my father's estate, where he proceeded to rescue his fiancée and kill all the bodyguards and ninjas. He saved my father for last, but he didn't kill him. No, he did something far worse. He went to the daimyo and told him everything. My father was executed, my family dishonored and left penniless. Ever since that day I strived to regain what my family lost. My next step is to gain power through the ninja clans of Konoha, starting with Yamanaka Ino. Finished the leader. Sir, what was the woman's name? Asked the spy, fascinated by his story. There was a short pause. No sound could be heard from the man. The spy thought he wouldn't answer, but he was rewarded with when the leader spoke. Uzumaki Kushina, said the man with unrestrained malice directed towards the woman's name. He stepped out of the shadow, and you could see a visage of a man in his 30s, about 6 feet 2 inches, and looked quite intimidating with his muscular body. This man took his training seriously. The spy wasn't familiar with the woman's name. He knew only one Uzumaki, but not personally. He decided he heard enough and excused himself, and left to finish his mission. The man was left alone in the room contemplating his next move. Soon, Yamanaka Ino, soon you will be mine in Konoha and the rest of the country will follow, said the man with an evil grin. Yamanaka residence. First rays of light were penetrating through Ino's window. This was Ino's sign for her to wake up. And such a shame, she was having such a pleasant dream about her blonde knucklehead. She wished she could stay in that dream for a while longer, but the sun wouldn't relent. She grudgingly opened her eyes and was immediately assaulted with sudden pain from her eyes, trying to adjust to the light. She rubbed her eyes for a couple of seconds, trying to clear the sleepiness from her body. She yawned and stood up and stretched her body. She could feel and hear her joints pop back into place from a well-deserved sleep. Oh, that felt good, thought Ino on the stretching part. She did her usually morning routine, showering, combing her hair and the rest of the things that needed to be done. After she was finished with that, she went downstairs to make herself some breakfast. When she came downstairs, she saw her parents already up, unsurprisingly. They always were early risers. Hello, sweetheart. Sleep well? Asked Enora, Ino's mom. Ino nodded, still half asleep. Inoichi asked a question that was keeping him up all night. How was your date with Naruto last night? He didn't try anything, did he? Asked Inoichi, who was already preparing to go and murder Naruto if he did anything inappropriate with his daughter. Relax, Daddy, he didn't do anything. He was a perfect gentleman all night. He took me to his favorite place, on top of Yandame's head, said Ino dreamily, remembering where she was last night. Enora smiled at Ino's expression. Her date must have been fantastic, thought Enora. Inoichi also smiled, but for a different reason. He also noticed her daughter's expression, but he was focused on something else. Huh, how fitting. His favorite place is on his father's head, mused Inoichi in his mind. Ino continued to tell her parents all about her date last night, but left out Naruto's secret, not wanting to betray Naruto's trust he placed in her. At the end of Ino's recollection, there were different reactions to her story. Ino was playing the date over and over again in her mind and was sighing dreamily. Inoichi smiled at his daughter's happiness, and noted to himself to thank Naruto later for taking good care of his daughter, while Enora had a very different reaction to her story. She was obviously very happy for her daughter, but also very pissed off at her husband, which she demonstrated. Inoichi yelled, a frustrated Enora. Inoichi turned towards his wife, who sounded offended for some reason. He didn't like that voice. There is always pain involved whenever that voice surfaces. How come you didn't prepare such a romantic date for me, huh? Said Enora in a disappointed and angry tone. Inoichi started sweating bullets, and his mind was working in overdrive to try and find a solution. His mind failed on him, now at all times. This is going to hurt, thought Inoichi, preparing for what was coming next. Enora produced her ninja killer, the husband beater, the almighty frying pan. Ino smiled at the scene of her parents. Even though they bickered a lot, they loved each other to death. She wanted that kind of relationship with someone. It was her dream to find a husband that would love her forever and have little blonde kids running around the house annoying the hell out of her and her husband. Ino sighed. That's still a long way from here, thought Ino, a bit saddened, but she bounced back quickly, saying that she's got time and that the right man will come eventually. Perhaps she was already dating him. Ino giggled at the prospect of marrying Naruto. If someone asked her that a couple of years before, she would have beaten the hell out of them for insinuating that. But people change, and so does their opinion on people. Who knows what will happen? I'll worry about that later, thought Ino. After that long and exhausting mind-storming, she waved her parents goodbye, who were still in the middle of their bickering. The scene was absolutely hilarious for anyone to behold. Enora was chasing the screaming Inoichi around the house, trying to hit him with her ninja killer. Ino sighed at the scene. They can be such childish at times, thought Ino, who was walking out of the house to go train her water affinity, and after that she would go and visit her favorite nephew. A couple of hours later, Ino was walking towards Karinai's house after making good progress on mastering her water affinity. All those tips from Naruto were really helpful. Say what you want about Naruto, he can be dense about some things, but when it comes to ninja stuff, he's a genius, muttered Ino to herself, who was proud of the progress she made today. After a couple of minutes of walking, Ino arrived in front of Karinai's house. She knocked, not wanting to just barge in uninvited. The door opened and Naruto could be seen standing there with a smile on his face, happy to see Ino again. Hey gorgeous, winked Naruto. Ino smiled at him, and gave him a small hug in response for his compliment. Naruto returned the hug and invited her in. Ino realized that she wanted to ask Naruto something before he distracted her with his compliment. What are you doing here, Naruto? Not that I mind, or anything. I just thought you would have other things to do in the morning, asked Ino. Oh, Ino doesn't want me near her. I'm hurt, teased Naruto. Ino smacked him on the arm and muttered idiot in a playful manner. Naruto laughed and told her that he and Kakashi were training together earlier. Kakashi invited him to come along to Karinai, and he accepted, not having any plans in the morning. Naruto, Ino walked into the living room where Kakashi was reading a story to Asuma while Karinai was sitting in the chair watching them with a content smile. Ino saw this smile and remembered that she wanted to talk to Karinai about Kakashi. Kakashi noticed Ino and said hello to her, but didn't let that distract him from his reading. Naruto, I'm going to talk to Karinai about something, okay? Said Ino. Naruto nodded and went to join Kakashi and help him with the story reading by using funny mimicry which elicited a laughter from little Asuma. Karinai nodded at Ino's request and they went to the kitchen where they could talk in peace. Yes, Ino. Need something? Asked Karinai. Well, I decided to return the favor. You interrogated me about Naruto yesterday, and I think it's time we talk about Kakashi, don't you think? Grinned Ino. Karinai sighed. She had a feeling this was coming. She was surprised it took so long. I guess it's fair. You did tell me about your feelings towards Naruto, so I guess it's my turn, said Karinai. She took a seat and motioned for Ino to do the same. When they were both seated, Karinai began. To be honest with you, I have no idea what to do with Kakashi. He is so different from before, or I just didn't know the real him. After the war he changed, or at least showed his other side to me. He was by my side through the whole pregnancy and birth and the months after that. He became my confidant, my closest friend. He helped me with Asuma, guided me. Without him I would be lost. I had no idea what to do with a baby. It was frustrating for me. I mean, what kind of mother can't take care of her own child? But Kakashi was there, said Karinai a bit sadly towards the end, but smiled after that Kakashi remark. He was there every step of the way. He brought me books to read about being a single mother. He even read some things about babies himself. At times I didn't feel like a single mother, you know. Kakashi did that to me with his presence and support, said Karinai, happy to have Kakashi by her side. Ino smiled at their history. They sounded like a real family. You sound like a real family, Karinai, said a smiling Ino. I guess we do, huh? I think that's why I have mixed feelings about Kakashi. I mean, I do feel a certain towards him, but I don't want to risk what we have now if we don't make it as a couple, responded Karinai, unsure about the whole situation. Ino was thinking that this is similar to her situation with Naruto. You know, this sounds just like my situation with Naruto. I was also unsure how to act on my feelings. Do I follow my heart or do I play it safe? It was bugging the hell out of me, and Naruto was in the same situation. But he did something about it. He asked me out yesterday, said a beaming Ino. Karinai perked up at this information. A date with Naruto? How did this happen? Thought Karinai. Ino told her about last night, how romantic Naruto was, how thoughtful, caring, loving. I think you should risk it, Karinai. The reward outweighs the risk, said Ino, speaking from experience. That's what Anko and Yugago told me as well. Perhaps you're right, said Karinai solemnly. Ino nodded and told her she's there if she needs any help. Karinai thanked her for everything and was glad to have her as a friend. After a couple of moments of silence, each woman was in deep thought about their own relationship. Karinai said something that surprised Ino, but understood why she asked the question. Ino, do you think it's too soon? Am I dishonoring Asuma's memory? Said Karinai while looking down at her lap, obviously concerned. Ino smiled at the older woman. Karinai, loyal to the end, even after death. No, I think this is what Asuma would have wanted for you. Your happiness was his last thought before he passed away. He would want you to move on and live for little Asuma, live for yourself and live for him. Responded Ino kindly. Karini smiled, more confident after Ino's words. Thank you, Ino. Karini gave Ino a small hug for her help. After that, Ino dragged a squirming Naruto out of the house so that the two could have some privacy. They had a lot to talk about. They took little Asuma with them. They went for a little walk hoping that by the time they came back, they would finish with their private conversation. Naruto proposed to get some ice cream, which made Asuma Jr. very happy. He was bouncing the whole way. He was holding both Ino and Naruto's hand and they looked perfect together. The people around them gave Ino and Naruto confusing looks, thinking if there is something going on between the two. The duo paid them no mind and minded their own business. After ice cream they went to the park where they played for a little while. They took turns on the swing, each laughing and having the time of their lives. After an hour or so they turned back towards the house. When they arrived in the living room they could see the couple sitting on the couch, Karini leaning against Kakashi's shoulder and watching TV. Both Ino and Naruto smiled at their friends, happy that they decided to take the next step. They hoped everything turns out fine. Naruto and Ino excused themselves and left the family alone. Outside the house, Naruto asked Ino if she wanted to meet up tonight for a simple walk around Konoha, nothing special, just some casual conversation to get to know each other better, and maybe to gossip a little. Ino accepted and kissed him on cheek, making Naruto blush, who wasn't used to this kind of closeness. Ino laughed at his bewildered look and teased him a bit but said her goodbyes and went on her way while telling Naruto to pick her up at 9. Ino and the girls gather every other day so that they don't lose touch with each other. With all the things that are going in their lives, it can happen pretty easily, so they agreed to meet every other day to just sit down, have a drink and just tell each other what they have been up to in the meantime. Naruto looked at Ino's retreating back and contemplated his next move. Naruto wanted to do something for a while now but didn't have the time to do it. Something's been bugging him ever since he came back and was reminded of it constantly. He needed to climb in rank. He was sick of being a genin. He achieved what most jounin wouldn't even dream of achieving. He deserves to get a promotion, and he would get one way or another. While he was walking towards the tower, he saw someone he had unfinished business to discuss. He saw Hinata and Kiba walking down the street, with Kiba vividly describing something to Hinata, and she shyly laughed at his storytelling. Naruto smiled at the couple, happy for the two to have found each other. Hinata deserved to be happy after what he did to her. The couple waved at him after they saw him, and walked towards him. Hey Naruto, what's up? Where are you going? Asked Kiba in his usual loud tone. Hinata gave him a small, shy smile. Hey guys. How you've been? I'm actually going to see Bakon. I have something important to discuss with her. I was on my way there when I spotted you two lovebirds, remarked Naruto with a wink at the end. Kiba scratched his nose, proud to be dating Hinata, while Hinata was fidgeting and looking down. You know what she does 90% of the time. I see. What's so important for you to visit the Hokage directly? Said Kiba, a little bit confused. Naruto sighed. I'll tell you later. You would probably laugh at me right now, so I'll wait until I talk to Bakon before telling you. Responded Naruto. Kiba wasn't happy with his answer, but he let it go. He did say he'll tell him later. He can laugh at him later. Kiba told Naruto that he's picking Akamaru up from the vet, and he's escorting Hinata to the ladies' gathering. He explained to Naruto that this gathering is something the women thought out so that they can talk about guys and gossip about the latest news. Naruto understood. All ninjas need some sort of vice to forget about all the ninja stuff and just relax. Kiba excused himself, and gave a small kiss on Hinata's lips and went on his way. That just left Naruto and Hinata alone on the street. It's now or never, thought Naruto. Hinata, can I talk to you for a bit? Asked Naruto. Hinata nodded and they took a seat at the nearby bench. They just sat there for a while in an awkward silence, both not wanting to start the conversation. Naruto eventually mustered enough courage to begin. I wanted to talk to you about what happened during Pain's attack, said Naruto a bit nervously. Hinata nodded. She knew this conversation would come eventually. Naruto took her nod as a sign to continue. It's about what you said when you came to my rescue. I realize I've been unfair to you. I could have talked to you about it after the invasion, but I couldn't. I didn't want to break your heart. My heart belonged to Sakura-chan and I didn't want to reject you. You have always been there for me, rooting for me from the background. I've just been too blind to realize that. What I meant to say is that I'm sorry and thank you for always believing in me and sticking with me even though I didn't return your feelings. Spoke Naruto from his heart. Hinata took some time to process everything. This was on her mind for a while now. She wanted to know why Naruto ignored even after she confessed her love to him. She wanted to at least get her answer to her question. Does he love me back? Well, she got it now. Couple of years before she might have been angry and saddened by his answer, but now that she's with Kiba, she realizes it's the opposite. She finally found closure, and she can move on with her life. I understand, Naruto-kun. Don't worry, I'm not mad at you. You did what you had to do. I could never resent you for that. In fact, you did more for me than you know. You helped me become the woman I am today. I looked up at you when I was younger, you were my source of strength, you gave me confidence. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and for that I am grateful. I admit I was feeling down when you didn't talk to me after that event, but then Kiba came. He was there for me when I needed him. It was he who helped me get over you, and I couldn't help but to fall in love with him. He became my everything, announced Hinata with confidence she normally didn't have. Naruto smiled and thanked her, and said if she needed anything he will be there for her. She thanked him. He wished the couple good luck and hoped that they find happiness in each other. With that they each went their own way, Hinata to the gathering, while Naruto continued his trek towards the Hokage tower. He used his usual means of entering the building, the window. Tsunade wasn't happy with his entrance, and showed by throwing the stapler at him. Naruto shrugged at her aggressive response to his entrance. He knew she didn't mean it. This was her way of showing she cared for him. He decided to just say what he wanted to say and hope for the best. Bakken, I want a promotion. I've been Genin for 6 years now, and frankly I'm tired of it. I refuse to stay at Genin for a minute longer, and I'm not leaving this office until you promise I'll get a promotion, said Naruto in a commanding tone. He expected Tsunade to react violently towards him, for demanding a promotion from her, or at least to have a long heated discussion with him, which would end with him being thrown towards the village's gates or something like that. He definitely didn't expect this sort of reaction. Tsunade took out some file and took her stamp from her drawer and stamped and checked over for any mistakes. After checking it she gave it to Naruto and said congratulations. I hereby promote Genin Uzumaki Naruto to Jounin, said Tsunade with a smile on her face, proud of her son. Naruto was flabbergasted. It couldn't be that easy to get a promotion. I mean, he came in the office and demanded to be promoted and she did it without a second thought. He decided to voice his confusion. Just like that? I get promoted with a simple stamp on the paper. No screaming, yelling, hitting me or throwing me through the door or something like that, said Naruto. Tsunade shrugged. If you asked me, your promotion has been long overdue. You should have been promoted as soon as you came back from your training trip. The only reason you weren't is because so much stuff was going on, which caused for your promotion to have slipped my mind. And you didn't mention anything, so the matter was left forgotten, answered Tsunade. He should be mad at her for forgetting about his promotion, but she was right. Back then things were hectic, with the whole Akatsuki, Orochimaru, Sasuke business. His promotion was the last thing on people's minds. Well, everything is okay now. He's a Jounin, which means nobody can laugh at his rank. This will shut Kiba up, thought a proud Naruto. He gave his back on a hug and said he will go out and celebrate his promotion. And there is only place that comes to his mind, Ichiraku. He said his goodbyes to Tsunade and left in a shunshin, but not before he thanked her again. She just waved him off and told him to get out of here. Meanwhile, in a bar reserved for ninjas only, there was a small group of women sitting at a booth at the back of the bar, giving them more privacy. They could be heard laughing, screaming, giggling, the usual women stuff. These women were the village's strongest kunoichis. And they could currently be heard talking about a certain blonde. So, I've heard you had a pleasant evening with Naruto last night, Ino. Care to share? Grinned Temari. The other girls just looked at her, some in confusion and some with a knowing look. Ino blushed, surprised that she already knew about her date with Naruto. But it's nothing to be embarrassed about. She likes him, he likes her. They had a fantastic first date, and she's going to see him again. Ino grinned happily at them, at peace with the whole situation, proud of herself and happy that she accepted Naruto's offer. Ino told them the whole story. At the end of the story some of the girls had tears in their eyes, some were jealous at the blonde for nagging such a thoughtful guy, and there was one who had a smile on her face. It was Hinata who had a smile on her face. It wasn't a bitter smile, no, it was a joyful smile. Yeah, that sounds like Naruto-kun. He must really care about you to have gone through all that trouble just to make you smile, said Hinata without a stutter. Everyone was surprised at the exclamation and the fact that it came from Hinata no less. Ino smiled at her lavender friend, thankful that there is no resentment and no ill feelings between them. Hinata smiled back, understanding the message that conveyed the smile. Temari decided to lighten the mood a bit. Did you do it? Teased Temari. Her statement caused Hinata to choke on her drinks. Others weren't faring better. Tenten had a massive blush on her face. Her face was as cherry as a tomato. Ino blushed, but not as much as Tenten, used to Temari's teasing by now. She leveled a glare at her. Of course we didn't. It was our first date. We're not ready. Our first time will be special and we'll do it when we're both ready, proclaimed Ino. Temari snorted at Ino, saying she's a prude, which caused the two to start arguing again. The women just laughed at the two and proceeded to chat amongst themselves and wait for the two sisters to calm down. They did eventually, and they continued their discussion about men, their men specifically. Temari wanted to know every detail of their sex lives and compare it to her own, which the other girls vehemently refused. Temari said they'll buckle eventually and reveal how good their lovers are. She's got time. They talked about some normal things, about missions, about the war, and about Ino's stalker. Ino told them that she still sees him from time to time, and that she sees him occasionally in the hospital, lurking. He didn't make any move towards her, so far, so she just leaves him be. She can deal with him being around, as long as he doesn't try anything. If he crosses the boundary, then the gloves are off, civilian council and court be damned. The girls all volunteered to help when that time comes, and Ino told them they will be the first to know. After that they decided to call it a day and went about their own business, and promising to meet up again in a few days. Ino went home to prepare for her nightly walk with Naruto. Later on, Naruto picked her up for their casual walk. They were both dressed more casually, nothing too fancy, they dressed for comfort and not for turning heads. But that doesn't mean that Naruto thought Ino wasn't beautiful. Far from it, actually, as he demonstrated with all the compliments he gave her throughout the night, which made her blush every single time. Naruto told her about his promotion, which prompted Ino to give him a massive hug. Naruto was in a state of bliss when that happened. He could feel her womanly assets pressing against his chest, and he loved the feeling, every single moment of it. He was a bit disappointed when she let go of him, but at least he still got the memory of the feeling, and that's how they spend their days for the rest of the week. Ino would train in the morning and sometimes Naruto would join her and help her. Then Ino would either work in the hospital or if she was free spend time with Karini and talk about girl stuff and about Karini and Kakashi's blooming relationship. In the afternoon Ino would continue to look for information regarding Naruto's heritage. She would visit Gai-sensei, which definitely wasn't a pleasant experience, and also Sai, which was very tough to get hold of because of his duties as the leader of the route. She also tried her luck with Enko and Yugugo but came out empty, just some theories and rumors, nothing substantial. She also visited Shizen and Tsunade, even though she knew they likely wouldn't say anything but it was worth a shot. She would first ask each person that she visited if they knew anything about Naruto's mother and father. If they didn't know anything or didn't want to say anything, she would then ask them something about the Uzumakis and about Uzumaki Kushina specifically. At the end of her quest she managed to procure quite a lot of information, but it was still not enough. She found out in the library, which Tsunade recommended to her, that the Uzumakis were once a very respected and powerful clan but were destroyed in the Second Shinobi War and the survivors scattered around the world. She also found out from Guy that Uzumaki Kushina was a very youthful person, shudders, and had a temper that matched a demon's. She also found out that she had red hair, which was pretty common among the Uzumakis. She surmised that Naruto must have inherited his hair from his father and not mother, since his are blonde and not the red which they were known for. Sai didn't know anything about the Uzumakis or Kushina for that matter, but Ino had a feeling Sai knew more than he let on. She checked her mental list of what she knew about Naruto's mother. She didn't focus on Naruto's father since his father was a complete unknown, nobody knew anything about him. Kakashi said that Naruto's mother had red hair and was from a prominent clan. Both of these things match what she knew about Uzumaki Kushina. He also said that she was from a different village. Ino didn't know if Kushina was born here or somewhere else, so she dismissed this information from Kakashi. Since everything about Kushina is classified, this information isn't likely to be discovered. Everything so far pointed to Uzumaki Kushina, but Ino still had doubts about the whole situation. She'll take her chances with Uzumaki Kushina and hope for the best. Hopefully Naruto will tell her the truth and fill in the blanks. It was the final day of the bet. Ino had a morning shift in the hospital. After that she will find Naruto and confront him, and hopefully everything will turn out great for her. Somewhere else. Is everything ready? Asked the leader. Yes, the mercenaries are in position and are awaiting your orders, sir. Answered his second in command. Good, the conquest begins now. Ordered the leader. The second in command nodded and left to fulfill his master's command. The leader stayed behind and grinned maniacally. The hospital. Ino sighed. She was tired. These morning shifts always take a lot out of her. It's bad enough she's in charge of the whole psychiatric wing. Now she's got new recruits coming in and they are all greenhorns and need to be properly mentored. That's where she comes in, and she hates it. Sometimes she wishes just to resign and live a normal ninja life, take a mission, complete it, and go home to your family. But life is never that simple. There is good news though. With her shift over, this means she gets to confront Naruto now and hopefully learn about his parents. She picked up her pace towards the exit. She was walking towards the exit when she heard the receptionist call her name. Miss Yamanaka, called the receptionist. Ino made her way over there, wondering what she wanted. Can't she see that she's in a hurry? Yes? Can I help you? Questioned Ino, who was constantly looking towards the exit, hoping that this conversation will be short. Receptionist picked something from the floor, a package of some sort, neatly wrapped in paper. These just came in for you by anonymous sender. There is a note attached though, said the receptionist politely. Oh, thank you. Did you see the guy who brought them? Said Ino while taking the package from the receptionist. The young girl behind the counter shook her head negatively. No, well, not exactly. It was a delivery boy from one of the local companies. He didn't say who sent them, he was just told to bring them here. Answered the girl. I see, thank you. If anything comes up, let me know. Bye. Said Ino, who continued on her way. She stopped at a nearby bench and looked at the package. It reminded her of flowers, but she wasn't certain. Her ninja sense kicked in and inspected the package for any traps. Satisfied that there are none, she carefully opened the package. She was right, they were flowers. Purple irises, to be exact. Only one name came to her mind. Naruto. It must be him, only he buys me my favorite flowers. Thought Ino. A note fell off the flowers and Ino picked it up. It said, meet me at Konoha Lake at 11 a.m. Your mystery blonde. Ino smiled at the letter and at Naruto's gesture. Well, at least I don't have to find him, thought Ino, who started walking towards Konoha Lake, flowers in her hand. She arrived at the lake a couple of minutes earlier than it said on the letter. The lake was empty, no one was around, which was odd. He better not be thinking about pranking me, thought Ino, who was scanning her surroundings. Seeing no one, she sat down and looked at the purple flowers in her hands. She took a whiff of their scent, and she remembered why she loved them so much. The scent was addicting, so alluring, so fresh. She was too engrossed in her thoughts that she didn't notice figures moving around her, surrounding her. By the time she did, it was too late. Laughter erupted from around her. Ino sprang on her feet, flowers forgotten, assuming her battle stance, ready for anything. Who's there? Yelled a serious Ino. My, so feisty. Have you forgotten me already? I'm hurt, said the voice in a fake hurt tone. The figure emerged from the forest surrounded by what seemed ninja bodyguards. 2 on his left, 2 on his right, and 8 ninjas behind him, ready to do their master's bidding. The 4 ninjas surrounding the man on both sides dressed similarly and had the same symbol on their jackets, indicating they were part of the same group. They seemed to be independent ninjas and not missing ninjas. The others had different clothes and looked young, very young, probably some inexperienced ninjas who didn't make the cut in their own villages. You! Yelled a surprised and disgusted Ino. What do you want, bastard? I told you, I'm not interested in you, get that into your thick ugly skull, remarked Ino, who narrowed her gaze at the taller man and was paying attention to any movement made around her. Bastard is such an ugly word. I preferred being called Ruga. I think you'll change your mind after you hear me out, said Ruga while grinning, obviously confident in his plan. Ino snorted. I doubt that. Whatever you say won't convince to marry a scumbag like you. Now leave, before I make you, threatened Ino. Feisty indeed, you'll make a perfect wife. But I think I can convince you. What if I said that I have people watching your house, your mother, your father, and your friends, said the evil man in his evil manner. Ino's eyes widened in shock, obviously not expecting that. You're bluffing. I would have sensed them, or my friends for that matter, said Ino, who was racking her brain for any memories of being followed. Ruga laughed, amused by this situation. Then you are not as good as you think you are, but by all means leave and check it out, but it will be too late by then. With one flick of my wrist your friends, your family, that kid you love so much will die, said Ruga in his twisted way. Damn it. I can't risk it. He probably has some men watching them, but not on all of them. Niji would notice them in a heartbeat, and so would Shikamaru. I'm pretty sure others wouldn't have too much difficulty finding them. That leaves Karini and my family, thought Ino, who felt slightly dizzy, but she shook it off. What's wrong? You don't look so well, honey, said the man in a taunting manner, and he was right. Ino looked pale and was sweating a lot. He's right. I'm not feeling too good. What did he do to me and when? Thought Ino, who was becoming worried. This is definitely not a good situation for her, surrounded by dozen men and at the mercy of this bastard. What did you do to me? Accused Ino. I didn't do anything. I just gave you the flowers you so adore, smirked Ruga. Ino's eyes widened and looked towards the flowers. Poison, thought Ino frantically. How could I miss that? Unless it was odorless, which means it's undetectable. Figured out Ino. Ino growled at the man. She focused some chakra to her hands and green chakra emerged. Ruga smirked at her action. Ino paid him no mind and continued what she was doing. One hand went over her lung, the other on her forehead. She was trying to prevent the poison from spreading any further. She didn't know what kind of poison it was, but whatever it is, it definitely isn't good for her in this situation. Ruga laughed to himself again. He didn't do anything, he just stood there with his entourage, watching Ino. Ino knew something was wrong. Ruga was just standing there, letting her heal herself, which bothered her for some reason. He should have attacked her by now. The other thing that was wrong to her is the fact that she wasn't feeling any better. Her medical chakra wasn't working for some reason. I'm sure you are wondering what's happening. Would you like to find out? Inquired Ruga, who was wearing a taunting smile on his face. Ino didn't respond and just growled at the man with all the hate she had for this sick man. Ruga grinned and said, I'm sure you figured out that you are poisoned. You inhaled it by sniffing on those flowers of yours. It has no odor, which makes it undetectable, perfect for sabotage missions. Which also makes it very expensive. What it does, it attacks your bodily functions, in short it paralyzes you. Grinned Ruga at Ino, pausing for a bit for the information to hit Ino. Ino ignored his taunting and doubled her effort on trying to clear the poison from her body. Here comes the best. Once inside your body, you cannot remove it. Don't worry, it's not lethal or anything. Can't have my wife dead before I marry her, now can I? It will leave your body on your own in an hour or so, which gives me plenty of time to make you mine. A demented smile could be seen on Ruga, already tasting the victory. Ino refused to give up. She will not be taken by this sick bastard. She willed all her strength to try and move, to put up a fight against this guy. But it was hopeless. By now the poison was already spread throughout all her body. Just standing there was becoming very difficult. Her body started shaking, exhausted from battling the poison. Her hands went limp, her knees buckled from her weight, and she fell on the ground. Ruga grinned. You finally gave up. You lasted longer than I expected. You really are strong, you will give me many strong babies, the hell I will. I would rather die than give birth to your kids. Yelled Ino defiantly, but she could feel the last of her strength leaving her body. It was futile. Ruga laughed like a maniac. And what will you do about it? You are powerless to stop me. If you hurt me, I hurt your family. If you try to run or get help, your family and nephew die. You are alone, all alone. Nobody will come to save you now, you are mine forever. Yelled victoriously Ruga. Wrong, yelled a voice from above. Ruga and his guards looked up at the sky and saw a figure falling from great distance. They couldn't make out who it was, but it was approaching fast. The figure landed in front of Ino, making a dent in the ground. His blue eyes were as cold as ice and staring at Ruga. These are the eyes of a pissed of Uzumaki Naruto. The eyes of the man you don't want to mess with. Ino felt relief wash over her. She was safe, she knew it. The moment she heard her voice, she knew everything is going to be alright. Naruto, she whispered, tears forming in her eyes. Naruto was by her side in a heartbeat, holding her, preventing her from falling. It's okay now, Ino. You are safe. He can't hurt you anymore, said Naruto, filling Ino with hope, and happy tears started escaping from her eyes. It looks like I can't do anything right, huh? Everything I do, I need to be rescued, I'm so weak, said Ino, who felt ashamed to be in this situation. Naruto silenced her by placing a loving kiss on her lips. Ino was stunned by his actions momentarily, but she returned the kiss, loving the feeling, loving the sense of love and security it brought on her. Naruto parted his lips from her and smiled at her. You are definitely not weak, trust me, I felt your monstrous power, said Naruto teasingly. Even in this situation, Ino couldn't say anything, she just giggled at his joke, momentarily forgetting about the people around her boring a hole through her and Naruto. They were interrupted by a yell from Ruga. Hey you! Get away from my wife! Yelled Ruga. Naruto turned towards him, but not before giving Ino a kiss on the lips and telling her that everything is going to be okay. Ino smiled at him fondly and told him to kick some ass. Naruto set his sight on the man that was responsible for all of this. The 4 guards, who were the strongest of the group, standing beside him, flinched when they saw Naruto's face. The moment they saw Naruto's face, they knew this plan was doomed to fail. The apparent leader of these mercenary ninjas recognized the intruder. Who wouldn't recognize him? This was the man that changed the ninja world. How the hell did I get in this situation? Thought the frantic ninja. His 3 companions weren't faring any better. They were all scared shitless. They heard stories about this man. It is said that he fought against the Bijus and the mastermind behind the war and came out victorious. His speed is said to be on the same level of that of the 4th Hokage, and many other unbelievable things. The leader turned towards the client. You idiot. You didn't tell us the hero of elemental nations is going to be here. Do you realize the situation you are in, huh? Do you? Yelled the leader of the ninjas, anger and fear evident in his voice. Ruga ignored his comment about the man, not fully aware in what kind of danger he is. It's just one man, you coward. What can one man do against a dozen? Said Ruga, still thinking he's got everything under control. You fucking idiot. Don't you recognize him? This is the man who brought victory to the Alliance 2 years ago. This is the man that defeated the tailed beasts. This is the man that defeated both Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Sasuke in combat. This is Uzumaki Naruto, declared the ninja leader. Recognition flashed through Ruga's eyes. Uzumaki ran through his mind. The name that ruined his life. The leader of the ninjas growled at his client, and turned towards Naruto, who was standing there calmly, waiting to see what will happen. The ninja bowed his head and said, My deepest apologies, Lord Uzumaki. I was not aware that you were involved in this guy's plan. Had I known that I was targeting your friend, I would have declined immediately. Please accept my apology, and allow us to leave peacefully, said the ninja in a polite and diplomatic manner. His 3 partners did the same and bowed their heads in apology. Naruto nodded at them. No harm done. Just leave and don't come back, responded Naruto, while smiling in his head, happy that he won't have to kill them. Killing was never his thing. He tried to avoid killing as much as possible. The 4 ninjas nodded back and turned to leave the clearing as soon as possible. The younger, the inexperienced ninjas ignored their warning and stayed there, which was very stupid and foolish of them, all because they wanted their taste of glory. They would risk their lives for someone they don't know. Naruto frowned at their stubbornness. He was hoping to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed, but it looks like it wasn't meant to be. Finally, after several moments of just standing there, his fist clenched and shaking uncontrollably, Ruga spoke. Uzumaki! How dare you show your face to me after everything you've done to my family? Yelled an enraged Ruga, who was barely restraining himself from attacking Naruto. Naruto looked at him quizzically, racking his brain if he ever met this man. He stroked his chin leisurely, not even sparing the man a glance which infuriated the man even further. I'm sorry. Have we met before? Asked Naruto, who was confused. Don't play dumb with me, Uzumaki. You destroyed my family, you killed my father, you are the reason my family is all gone. If it weren't for you, Uzumaki, I would have lived a normal, comfortable life in my mansion, but no, you just had to destroy everything. Yelled Ruga. Naruto looked at him funnily. He really didn't know what this guy was talking about. I'm sorry. I didn't do that. You must have confused me with someone else, said a confused Naruto, who was scratching his head. I know it wasn't you, you idiot. It was that whore of a woman, Uzumaki Kushina. How I would love to get my hands on that slut, pay her back for everything she's done, shouted Ruga, but didn't notice Naruto narrowing his eyes and clenching his fist. Something else stirred inside Naruto. A pair of eyes opened up. Ino noticed him tense at the name Kushina, and her theory was starting to prove itself. The man continued with his monologue. That filthy bitch took away everything from me, my land, my money, everything. I was left with nothing, all because she wouldn't become my father's wife. That whore thought she was better than my father. How dare she? She was nothing more than dirt on my father's shoes. She was born to serve my father and nothing more. Curse you, Uzumaki Kushina and fourth Hokage, yelled Ruga. Meanwhile Naruto was clenching his fist so hard, blood started to seep out. He heard everything. This man, this bastard dared to insult Uzumaki Kushina, his mother, his beloved mother. The one that sacrificed everything so that her baby son could live. But I got my revenge on that bitch. I was ecstatic when I heard that she and that idiot of a husband of hers died in the Kyuubi's attack. Good riddance, huh? I hope you burn in hell, laughed Ruga maniacally, but was interrupted by Naruto's voice. Are you done? Asked Naruto, seemingly calm, but was raging inside. Ino was glaring at the man that planned this whole thing. She looked towards Naruto when he spoke. He was shaking. Blood was flowing out of his hands. He was angry, no, pissed. Naruto, whispered Ino. Ruga stopped laughing to look at Naruto. His eyes were hidden by his hair. He was tense, and he was shaking. He heard him continue speaking. Naruto didn't hear Ino's voice and continued, You poisoned Ino. You tried to kidnap her. You tried to force yourself on her. You threatened her friend, my friends. You threatened her family, but worst of all, you insulted Uzumaki Kushina and Minato Namikaze. He looked up and towards Ruga. His eyes slitted. The earth started to shake, cracks appeared in the ground, the birds were leaving the forest like they were afraid of something. Ruga was startled. He frantically looked around him, wondering what was happening. He looked towards Naruto, who was changing. Yellow chakra started to form around him. His whiskers became more defined. A chakra cloak formed behind him and weird markings appeared all over his body. Ruga flinched when he saw his eyes. He could swear he could see his own death playing in them. He started to breathe heavily, like something was suffocating him, something heavy and evil. Then it happened. Ruga blinked, but Naruto was already gone. He was in front of him, holding him by his collar and slowly lifting him in the air. Ruga's black eyes were looking into Naruto's slitted ones. Ruga could feel the power behind those eyes, staring at him, judging him. One thought ran through his mind. What have I done? You dare insult my mother and father, you a low-life, dares to insult the greatest heroes this planet has ever seen. Let me show you what happens to people who insult my family, whispered Naruto in a dangerous tone so that only Ruga could hear him. Ruga was trying to break free from his grasp, but this man, no, this god was too strong. He looked into Naruto's eyes. He blinked. When he opened his eyes again, he was no longer outside, no longer at Konoha's lake. No, he was somewhere dark, somewhere that he wasn't supposed to be. The room was dimly lit by candles on the wall, and then he saw someone, or rather something. A pair of red, slitted eyes were staring down at him, judging him. He experienced fear in its purest form. He was on his knees, breathing heavily. The air was suffocating him. He was cornered and he knew it. Foolish mortal, bellowed a great, rumbling voice. Ruga looked up and saw a massive fox with 9 tails swishing behind him, boring a hole through his skull. On his head stood a human, Uzumaki Naruto to be exact, with his arms crossed, waiting for the massive fox to pass his judgment. I have never met such a foolish human being before. You kidnapped my partner's woman, you tried to kill his friends, and you insulted his reason for living. You insulted his mother, father, his family, and for that you shall pay, rumbled Kurama, his voice carrying so much killer intent that the man started to grasp at his throat, desperate for some air. Begone, mortal, judged Kurama. Kurama roared and used his chakra to blow away Ruga's presence from his mind. Outside, only a second passed. In a second, a hellish scream could be heard. Ruga was screaming with all his might. Naruto let him go and Ruga dropped to the ground, holding his head and screaming. This was the signal for the other ninjas to start running. They couldn't even see him move, and whatever he did to their client, they didn't want to be on the receiving end of whatever that was. Naruto looked at the man with pity. This man was the worst of the worst. If it weren't for Naruto, this man would have taken Ino and God knows what he would have done with her. He deserved every second of his punishment. Meanwhile, Ruga was rolling on the ground, trying to stop the pain. He was screaming like a madman. Finally, after a minute, he stopped. He succumbed to unconsciousness, his mind too exhausted to stay awake. In that moment, Anbu arrived at the scene. The one with the tiger-shaped mask stepped forward and spoke. My apologies. We came as soon as we could, but it looks like you didn't need any help, smirked the Anbu, who Naruto immediately recognized. Naruto smiled at his old teacher. It's been too long since they last saw each other. He missed the charismatic and sometimes very scary teacher. No problem, nothing I couldn't handle. Where's Kakashi though? responded Naruto, who started walking towards Ino to see if she has any injuries besides the poisoning. Anbu escorted him. He went back to Karini, just in case something happened. Said Yamato. Thank you for not killing the man. It would have brought more bad than good, not to mention the paperwork. Shuddered Yamato. Don't thank me. Every fiber of my being wanted him dead for what he has done, and wanted to do. I still don't know why I left him alive. Snorted Naruto. Because you are a good man, Naruto. That is why people like you so much. You are not an ordinary ninja. Don't worry about the man, he'll get what he deserves. We've already had suspicions about the guy, now he gave us legitimate cause to send him to Ibiki for some therapy. Said Yamato, who had a smirk under his mask. Naruto liked the sound of that. Some therapy with Ibiki should do him some good. They stopped in front of Ino. Naruto knelt down towards her level. Are you okay, gorgeous? He didn't do anything, right? Asked a worried Naruto. Ino smiled at his concern for her, she could get used to that. No, he didn't. Besides the poisoning, I'm fine. The poison will wear off soon. About a half an hour, and it will leave my system. Responded with a dazzling smile at her hero. Naruto smiled back at her, pleased with the news. Yamato tapped Naruto on the shoulder and said, well, my work here is done. I'm no longer needed here. I trust you can take care of Miss Yamanaka, Naruto. I have some interrogating to do. Oh, we arrested some scared ninjas running away from this location. Would you know anything about that? Grinned Anbu, but you couldn't see that. Naruto scratched his head in embarrassment. I might have overdone it a little bit. Anbu smirked and nodded at his one-time student. Naruto nodded at his friend and said goodbye and thanked him for his assistance. The Anbu left with their prisoner, and the couple was left alone. Naruto took a seat beside Ino, and used his arm to hug her around the waist and pulled her closer to himself. Ino made herself comfortable, and just enjoyed Naruto's warmth and company. They sat there, Ino leaning on Naruto, looking at the scenery before them, and just relaxed and rested a bit from that ordeal that just happened. Ino was in heaven. Apart from the poison, this was perfect. With Naruto, this sort of scenes just happened. They weren't planned or anything, they just came. Just an hour ago, she was in a fight for her life, and now she was enjoying herself with her boyfriend, which reminded her of a question she wanted to ask him. Hey Naruto. How did you find me? Asked Ino, who completely forgot about that momentarily. Naruto laughed a bit and scratched his head. He told her the story of what happened before the incident. Flashback. He was returning from his training with Kakashi. They were walking towards Karini's house. Kakashi was going there to help Karini, and Naruto was escorting Kakashi. Naruto was going to find Ino after that and invite her to a picnic, where they could talk about his parents. When they arrived at Karini's house, the duo could feel someone was watching the two. They spotted two intruders, one on each house near Karini's house. With some hand signs, Kakashi and Naruto communicated with each other. Kakashi would take the one on the left, and Naruto the one on the right. In a second they disappeared and appeared behind the unsuspecting spies. They were unconscious before they even knew it. They tied them up and discussed what to do next. Who the hell are these guys? They don't look like any ninjas I know. Asked a bit angry Naruto. I have no idea. More importantly, why would they be watching Karini's house? Karini is no longer an active Konoha ninja. It makes no sense unless someone else was the target, meaning either the two of us or someone important to Karini. Said Kakashi, analyzing everything to perfection. I doubt we were the targets. They would have sent someone more capable to deal with us. They were basically normal grunts with good stealth skills. They were probably here on someone else's behalf, as a guarantee if something went wrong or something. Someone we know is in danger, I'm sure of it. Responded Naruto sagely. Kakashi nodded and made the hand sign for Shadow Clone, who will stay here and defend Karini and the baby. Naruto told him that he will check out the rookies and Ino, and Kakashi said that he will check the older jounins and notify the ANBU. Naruto checked the other rookies' houses and found nothing. That left Ino. He pushed more chakra into his legs to reach Ino's house as fast as he could. When he arrived there, he entered Sage mode to use his sensory skills to see if anyone is there that shouldn't be. He found someone on the house opposite from Ino's. He was concealing his chakra and using some sort of camouflage jutsu, but he couldn't hide from Naruto's senses. In a flash, Naruto was behind the man, and with a solid chop to the neck, the man was down for the count. Using some ropes, he tied the man behind a chimney and left him there for ANBU to pick up. Naruto was sure of it now. Ino or her family was the target. Ino's in danger. I need to find her as quick as possible. Thought Naruto, who sat down into the lotus position and started drawing as much natural energy as he could. With the increase of energy from nature, Naruto's sensory skills expanded, easily increasing threefold. He scanned Konoha and its surroundings. It was difficult to find a single energy among thousands, but spending the last week with Ino made him very familiar with her energy signal. After a minute or so, he found her near the Konoha lake, and she wasn't alone. He focused his remaining natural chakra into his legs for one big leap. Hang on, Ino, I'm coming, thought a flying Naruto. Yendi, and that's it? Piece of cake, really? Grinned Naruto. Ino sighed. What would I do without you? Sighed Ino. Naruto smiled teasingly at her. Ma, You would miss me too much. Ino smiled at the joke, but he was right, she would miss him, a lot. You know, we still haven't settled our bet. The 7 days period is up. So, did you find out? Asked Naruto, genuinely interested. Ino sighed yet again. She wasn't sure what to say. Did she tell him about Kushina and take her chances, or does she let him tell her everything? Either way, I learned the truth, the only difference is I lose the bet. Thought Ino. Ah, what the hell, let him have this victory. Thought a smirking Ino. I found something about the Uzumaki clan but nothing specific about your family. I found about Uzumaki Mito, first Hokage's wife, and about Uzumaki Kushina. The weird thing is I couldn't access their files or yours for that matter. Everything about you guys is classified. It was driving me crazy, said a disappointed Ino. She proceeded to tell Naruto what else she found, from the talks with Kakashi, Guy, and other people. Naruto was impressed. She found a lot of information. She only needed that final piece to link everything together. He decided to end her suffering and tell her everything. Besides, he was going to tell her whether or not she found anything. If he can't tell his own girlfriend and possibly his love, then who can he tell? You know, I'm genuinely impressed. As you said, a lot about the Uzumaki clan is classified. Very few people knew anything about them, either from personal experience or rumors, explained Naruto to Ino. He told her about the Uzumaki clan and about its destruction. Ino knew some of these things from the reading she did in the library, but she allowed Naruto tell the whole story. A survivor from the clan arrived to Konoha, Uzumaki Kushina. She was brought here for a special reason, to become a Jinchuriki. She is also my mother, said Naruto, shocking Ino. Ino tried to say something but Naruto wouldn't let her. As you are aware, during the fight between Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama, Kyuubi appeared and was under the control of Madara. Hashirama won the battle with the help of his wife, Uzumaki Mito. She used her advanced sealing techniques and sealed the Kyuubi inside herself, becoming the first Kyuubi Jinchuriki, preached Naruto, continuously shocking Ino, who wasn't aware of any of this. Time passed and Mito got older, which meant that she would die soon and Kyuubi would be free. That is why a new container needed to be found, and that is where Kushina, my mother, came in. Her chakra was special even among the Uzumaki clan. She would be the perfect host, said Naruto, sadness evident in his voice when spoke about those events. Ino was starting to fill in the blanks. Naruto's story confirmed a lot of things for Ino. A bit more and everything will be known, and so it happened. The Kyuubi was sealed inside of her, and she grew up without anyone knowing about it. But Kumo found out. They kidnapped her and they were nearing the Fire Country's border. But then a man came and defeated them all and rescued Kushina. That man was known as Minato Namikaze, or as he was primarily known, the fourth Hokage, my father. That was the last straw for Ino. She couldn't believe it. The fourth Hokage, the man who saved them all from Kyuubi and the one who sealed Kyuubi into Naruto, is Naruto's father no less. Unreal, thought Ino. Naruto told her the rest of the story, about his mother's birth and Tobi's intervention. My father had no choice but to seal the Kyuubi into me. He believed I could use its power to defeat Tobi. They died so that I could live. They gave up their lives so that their baby boy could live on, said a teary-eyed Naruto. Ino enveloped him in a hug, the poison already gone. She let him cry on her shoulders, he needed this. Naruto hugged her tighter, not wanting to let her go, ever. After a while Naruto withdrew from the hug and washed away his tears and smiled. You know, you are a lot like her, my mother I mean. She would have loved you, said a smiling Naruto. Ino smiled at his compliment. She leaned in closer to his face, feeling his hot breath on her lips. She couldn't wait anymore. She smashed her lips against his and let the passion take over. Naruto was in heaven yet again. The feeling was like nothing he ever experienced before. Their tongues clashing, dueling, their saliva mixing, it was perfect. Ino was feeling butterflies in her stomach, and so was Naruto. Whatever that feeling was, it felt great. And they wanted more of it. After a couple of minutes of intense makeout session, the couple regained their breath and smiled lovingly at each other. I think for both of them this changed something in them. Their feelings towards each other grew deeper, stronger, and they liked it. Tell me about them, please, said Ino, who rested her head on his chest, listening to the sound of his heartbeat, and waiting for him to continue. They spent the afternoon talking about Naruto's parents, their adventures, how were they like, and so on. Naruto looked down and saw Ino comfortably nested in his lap. He remembered his conversation with his mother. Naruto-kun, find a woman that will see you for who you are and that will make you the happiest person in the world. The woman that can bring out your true smile is the one for you, remember that, said Uzumaki Kushina in her brief encounter with her son. When Naruto looked at Ino, he saw a strong, beautiful woman. A woman that cares for him and makes him smile. Are you the one, Ino? Pondered Naruto while looking at the sky. I'm going to finish it here. Hope you like it and see you in a couple of days. What if Ino loves Naruto after war Sasuke bashing? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.